It's Wednesday, April 15th. Today, a break at the pumps. The Prime Minister parks the federal gas tax until Labor Day and the mixed reaction at Winnipeg stations. What it means for drivers here. Also, rivers on the rise. Which areas in Winnipeg are already underwater and how the city says it's prepared for what's to come. Plus, the Premier heads to Ottawa. Canoe and Carney call Port of Churchill, quote, a top priority. And other pressing matters for Manitobans. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, Tandy Vera is going to be talking about Telecommunicators Week. It's really a great opportunity to talk about 911, the 911 system, how it works, what calls you really should not be making, when to call 911, and also to celebrate those people who do respond to your calls when you are in trouble, and just talk about, the stressful job that they do and why they're so vital in our communities. So we're going to delve into that throughout the morning. But let's talk about the weather. Last night was pretty nice. It's going to be warm today, but things are not going to be good for much longer. We're talking storm.
You want to talk about a stressful job? Why do I have to deliver this information? No, I saw a weather alert come up across my phone just 20 minutes ago. Yeah. We knew we were likely going to be getting snow, but it seems to be at the point where Environment and Climate Change Canada is calling it a late season winter storm. An approaching low pressure system is the culprit. Boo indeed. But let's talk about the here and now, because we actually have a gorgeous day ahead. So let's enjoy it. 2 degrees, it's clear. The winds are to the south at 11 kilometers per hour. The barometric pressure is falling, and the humidity, that is sitting at about 98%. So yes, as you can see, while we're dealing with a low pressure system in the coming days, northern Manitoba is impacted by a different disturbance altogether. You can see it kind of showing up on our Skywatch, likely to be spreading snow, at times heavy, for much of northern Manitoba from today and overnight, tapering off tomorrow. Then we get kind of a reversal in fortunes from there, to the point that we have a plethora, if you will, of weather alerts. So here's how it looks across the province. For us here, we just have a special weather statement warning us about that approaching low pressure system. Accumulations not huge, maybe about 4 centimeters. Timing wise, it's coming in from the west and is likely to track in overnight Wednesday and into Thursday. Meanwhile, to the north, as mentioned, you're going to be dealing with your snowfall a little bit earlier, because you have yellow snowfall warnings in effect right now. So I mentioned heavy snow off and on throughout the day and overnight. We too could be getting these similar warnings coming our way as the day progresses. So that's an upgrade from the statement. So we'll keep an eye on that. Our futurecast gives us a sense. This is the system impacting the north. You can see it really wrapping around there later at Wednesday afternoon today, I guess that is. And then drifting off further into the northeast. And then we start to deal with this little bugger there. That's what's the low pressure system we're talking about, but it really has a long tail end, and that's when it wraps in all that snowfall likely. Today, I mentioned we have a gorgeous day, 18 degrees and sunny, but we take a major plunge into Thursday, setting up for that storm's arrival on Friday.
Thank you, Catherine. Some much-needed relief at the pumps is on its way. The federal government is temporarily cutting a tax on gasoline and fuel, and it's expected to save you 10 cents a litre on gas and 4 cents on diesel. CTV's Jeff Kiel has more.
At $1.79.9 a litre, drivers don't mince words about the high cost at the pump.
Terrible. I don't know what to say about it.
I don't even want to think about what I would be spending per year.
Can't afford to do, to pay gas.
With the war in Iran driving gas prices up, some relief is on the way. The federal government is temporarily suspending a tax on gas and diesel starting next week until Labor Day.
This will remove up to 10 cents per litre on gasoline and 4 cents per litre on diesel fuel.
Some welcomed a 10-cent break at the gas station.
I mean, anything will help, right? Anything will help. Anything that makes it go down.
Well, it's better than a kick in the head.
Others say it won't make much of a dent.
That's a minor thing, right? I mean, 10 cents from $1.80, like that's not really helping anything.
Sounds like a political game to me. I don't think it's really going to make a big difference.
Still, the Canadian Taxpayers Federation says this cut is a good first step.
You'll be saving
about $7 every single time you fill up a minivan, or about $10 when you fill up a pickup truck.
The CTF says the break should be made permanent and is calling on Manitoba to slash the 12.5 cent per litre tax on gas here. Premier Wab Kinew has mused about it.
But here in Manitoba, we're focused on you. That's right. We cut the gas tax once, maybe we'll do it again.
But it appears nothing is certain yet. A provincial spokesperson says the province continues to monitor prices. Those prices are even higher for truckers as diesel hovers around $2 per litre. So what does a 4 cent per litre break from the feds mean?
Does it have a large impact? No, but over time, it's going to save everybody a little bit of money.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The tax holiday begins April 20th and will last until September the 7th. Ottawa says this will cost the government around $2.4 billion. After securing a majority government, Prime Minister Mark Carney says he has no plans to call an election.
Not considering calling an election?
Not considering calling an election. Absolutely. Look, I think very clearly Canadians want government to govern.
The Liberals secured a majority by winning the 3 by-elections held this week, along with the 5 floor crossings that have happened over the last several months. But it is a slim majority, and Prime Minister Carney says he will work with the other parties. Prime Minister Carney took to the rink with Finland's president yesterday for some diplomacy on ice. The two leaders skated with members of the Ottawa Charge. Finland's president Alexander Stubb says he trades texts with Prime Minister Carney every day. Finland and Canada are looking to develop closer economic and defense ties. After losing in the 3 federal by-elections, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he has no plans to resign.
Continue to lead that fight in this House, across this country, and in the next election.
The Conservatives' vote share shrunk by more than 10% in the 3 ridings compared to the 2025 federal vote. The party even dropped to 3rd place in the downtown Toronto race. And in the closely watched Terrebonne riding, the Conservatives slid from 18.2% in 2025 to 3.3% in the by-election. Prime Minister Mark Carney was also asked yesterday whether he thinks Poilievre should resign, but he declined to answer, calling it an unfair question. The Manitoba government says nearly 110,000 sandbags have now been delivered to Peguis First Nation as the risk of flooding looms along the Fisher River.
It's a bit of an all-hands-on-deck situation, just like during, the COVID-19 pandemic response, just like last year during the wildfire. So there's a number of folks on site right now, particularly in Peguis.
In its latest update, the province's Hydrologic Forecast Center says runoff in the Fisher River Basin will likely start early next week and peak between April 23rd and the 28th. The center warns a quick melt could result in flows reaching catastrophic 2022 levels. That flood forced more than 2,000 people in Peguis out of their homes. The Manitoba government says some evacuations are likely this year as well. Manitoba's Transportation and Infrastructure Minister says her department is working with Peguis leadership, the federal government, and outside organizations to build dikes and protect homes in the Interlake. The Hydrologic Forecast Center is also warning of an elevated risk of overland flooding in the Parkland region. It's due to warmer temperatures expected in the coming days. A group of international students and workers is calling on the province to once more extend work permits.
To know we are suffering, we need the extension as soon as possible.
A few dozen people gathered on the steps of the legislature to call attention to the issue. They say work permits for around 6,000 people are set to expire this year, and they're hoping the province extends them as it did in 2025. But the workers haven't heard anything official yet and say it's causing some concern.
We're working every day, but on top of that, we have to consider our status here in the country. So that gives a lot of psychological burden as well.
Once a permit expires, the workers say they only have 90 days for it to be approved once more before being forced to leave the country. We have new video showing the moment the hatch of the Orion capsule was opened, welcoming Canadian Jeremy Hansen and the other Artemis II astronauts back to Earth.
Let's go!
Cheers were heard from the recovery crew and from inside as fresh air filled the capsule for the first time in nearly 10 days. The crew was then greeted with enthusiastic handshakes. The celebrations came moments after the capsule streaked back to Earth at blistering speeds before parachuting softly to what NASA called a bullseye landing. Okay, here's a look now what's happening outside on the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are moving quite well to start off this Wednesday morning. If you encounter any issues out on the streets, please send us a text at 10400. Let's go now to Tandy Vera, who is live this morning at the 911 Center. Good morning, Tandy.
Good morning, Rochelle, and hello, Manitoba. It's National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. It's a time to pause and recognize the voices behind the other end of 911 calls. These people are often the first point of contact when something goes wrong. They guide people through one of the most difficult and sometimes scary moments of their lives, and it's a job that holds a lot of weight. It involves long shifts, emotional calls that stay with the operators long after. So this week, it's really simple. It's about saying thank you. Thank you to our operators for being with us, for guiding us, for talking us through some of the most traumatic moments of our lives, and scary and stressful. So we're going to chat a bit more about why that's important and why it's important to give them recognition this week. And honestly, just every other day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an important week indeed. Thank you, Tandy. Let's go out to the rooftop now with our Catherine Dow. And yeah, it looks good right now. It's going to be a nice day, but not for long.
Can I just say, I think Tandy should do audiobooks or like ASMR. Her voice will soothe me, and I maybe need her to just be telling me everything's going to be okay as I deliver this forecast. Because yes, Rochelle, we're in store for a lovely day ahead, and then things take a major turn later on this week. Currently, it's 2 degrees. The sun is rising. The skies are crystal clear, looking lovely. Winds are decently strong out of the south at 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 99%. Sorry, folks, that was going to bother me. Okay, in terms of northern Manitoba, let's start there. You are in the crosshairs of a yellow snowfall warning. Look for snow, at times heavy, at times blowing, to continue off and on throughout the day and overnight before tapering off. Then for us here in the south, we have a special weather statement, not quite a warning or a watch, a statement. Environment Canada and Climate Change Canada warns us that a late spring storm is approaching. Could bring anywhere from 4 to 8 centimeters through southern Manitoba, starting likely tomorrow in the southwest and then tracking into our neck of the woods in Winnipeg overnight, Thursday, and then from there we could be seeing anywhere from 4 to 8 centimeters before the snowfall tapers off into the weekend. Don't shoot the messenger. Alrighty, I'm going to go inside and ponder what Mother Nature's trying to do to us, but stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. A renowned Winnipeg philanthropist and volunteer has died. Tanis Richardson passed away at the age of 99. James Richardson and Sons Limited made the announcement in a news release. Richardson was described as an accomplished community leader and champion of arts and culture. She held numerous board appointments and was involved with the Kidney Foundation of Manitoba, the International Society for Heart Research, United Way, Ronald McDonald Children's Charity, and the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. Richardson was also instrumental in the development of the Winnipeg Art Gallery. She was the recipient of numerous awards, including being named a member of the Order of Canada in 2003. In 2020, she published an autobiography called Vignettes from My Life. If you've been driving around the city and the Red River seems suddenly higher, it isn't your imagination. Water levels on the Red have risen sharply over the last week. CTV's John Hendricks has the details on why and how the city says it's prepared for what's to come.
If you're driving to La Barriere Park, expect a major barrier on the road. The bridge over the LaSalle River is now completely underwater.
This is only the beginning.
Meredith Greenall has lived close to the river for 15 years and says around this time of year, it can sometimes swell so high you can't even see the railings.
I used to take the school bus to school when I was in high school and elementary school, and it would have to come around because the bridge is flooded for sometimes months on end.
The LaSalle isn't the only river in the city to rise recently. The Red River has jumped up 2 3/4 from levels recorded a week ago. The city says levels have gone up recently because of ice jams in the south and west parts of the city. As a result, Winnipeg is seeing a quick rise at the James gauge as jams let go and send a surge of water.
We're a city that has to watch flooding. We are in one of the largest basins that you've got here in North America. So this is a reality. We live by a river. Rivers change.
And Fort Rouge East Fort Garry councillor Sherry Rowland says because of that long history with flooding, the city's emergency management department will be ready for this flood season.
Our emergency management office is equal to the task. We always are looking for, whereas other cities are doing SIMs, it's our reality, and we're lucky to have them.
The city says crews have activated flood pump stations, sealed manholes, and have been inspecting and closing river gates. Weeks of preparation to ensure Winnipeg can handle whatever Mother Nature throws at us. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
In its Tuesday's bulletin, the province says it may activate the Red River floodway as soon as this weekend to control water levels here in the city. The Port of Churchill topped the agenda Tuesday as Manitoba's Premier met with the Prime Minister in Ottawa.
His initiatives around building out a big infrastructure in full partnership with Indigenous peoples in the Port of Churchill, top priority for our government, top priority for you.
Prime Minister Mark Carney and Premier Wab Kinew held their second quarterly meeting on the Churchill Plus project. It follows the signing of a collaboration agreement on environmental and impact assessment, which will streamline regulatory processes to minimize duplication and uphold Indigenous rights. Discussions also included Churchill's strategic role in defending Arctic sovereignty, federal health funding, support for Manitoba's agriculture industry, and help for a possible spring flood here in Manitoba. Yes, it was an earthquake that rattled parts of eastern Ontario and western Quebec at lunchtime yesterday.
It was a lot of shaking, like a lot of the ground, the building. As I said, it was like a big wave that came over us, just came and went.
Earthquakes Canada has confirmed a magnitude 3.9 earthquake at approximately 12:36 p.m. Eastern yesterday. The epicenter was located 20 kilometers northeast of Shawville, Quebec. And some people report feeling it as far away as Toronto and Montreal. Experts say the area where it struck is part of the Western Quebec seismic zone and that it's not uncommon to have about a dozen felt earthquakes every year. Air Canada is overhauling how its planes look on the inside.
We've got 93 brand new aircraft on order. And the last time we came out with a new interior was about 10 years ago.
The airline has unveiled a new look and new features that are part of its cabin redesign. Air Canada is introducing lie-back seats on some flights, as well as big screens and larger overhead bins. Many of these upgrades are targeted at luxury flyers. What about people who fly economy? Well, they can expect new ergonomic seats, Bluetooth audio, and high power outlets. The rollout starts this summer. Some police officers in Florida caught this amazing sight on camera. Well, you may be asking, what is this? Well, as the officers were docking and cleaning up one of their boats, when a manatee pulled up to steal some fresh water to drink. They waited until he'd had his fill to keep going. That being said, they're warning others not to give it to them or encourage manatees to come close to their boats because it puts them in danger.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, the westbound left turn storage lane on River Avenue will be closed from Harkness to Donald Street. The northbound curb lane on St. Mary's Road will be closed between Berrydale and Portland Avenue. And the eastbound curb lane on Chalmers Avenue will be closed from Henderson to Rock Street. If you see any issues out there, please let us know by sending us a text.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Looking outside this hour, it's 2 degrees, quite clear. Some decently strong southerly winds at 18 kilometers per hour, pressure falling, humidity at 99%. The calm before the storm. I wish I was joking. Yes, we are in the crosshairs of another potential spring storm. But today, the good news is we actually have a pretty beautiful day to enjoy first. Temperatures starting off decently mild, below freezing in Kenora at -1 degree. But through much of southern Manitoba, we've climbed above that freezing freezing mark with the exception of Gimli. 1 degree in Morden and Winkler and Brandon, Portage la Prairie and Dauphin. Quite balmy in Swan River at 3 degrees. To the north we go, where temperatures are much cooler, particularly in Churchill, where there still is a pretty decent wind chill in effect, feeling more like minus 35 degrees, even though your temperature will read minus 22. So yes, northern Manitoba currently dealing with some yellow snowfall warnings. You can see the disturbances there slightly. That's from a low pressure system that's spreading snow and heavy snow throughout the region, at times blowing snow as winds ramp up. Meanwhile, a separate low pressure system altogether will be impacting us in the south. So it was issued for these regions lit up there in gray by Environment and Climate Change Canada. About 4 to 8 centimeters could be coming, likely starting in the southwest tomorrow and beginning for us in Winnipeg overnight Thursday, and could be some very decent chance rather of some freezing drizzle mixed in. And then these areas, as mentioned, dealing with those yellow snowfall warnings with that heavy snow. Today, though, it's going to be rather pleasant. 4 degrees as the kids head to class, 14 as they take lunch, getting even warmer at 16 as they head home. And if you can believe it, getting hotter than that. 18 degrees under those clear sunny skies. Perhaps that's what's making this spring storm hurt so much. We plunge overnight, and then we are likely to get that snowfall overnight Thursday. Your Skywatch picture of the day. I'm wondering if this Canada Goose is regretting returning here so soon. Thanks for snapping this, Leonore, and keep your weather pictures coming.
Good morning. Ask any music lover and they will tell you vinyl is making a comeback. Vinyl records made up $1 billion in sales last year. One Quebec company wants a part of that. CTV's Stéphane Giroux has the story.
At Drummond Vinyl in Drummondville, staff can't keep up with the demand for records.
I call it a digital detox. It creates a moment, which I think that digital world cannot compete against, because when you put a vinyl on, all of a sudden everything is aligned with this. You need to, switch side at some point, and then you just put the needle on, and so it's about a moment.
Musicians Jeff Beaulieu and Alex Henry Foster launched a company 3 years ago out of necessity for their own bands.
For us, it was not about a market and a demand. It was because we realized that we wanted to do our own vinyls and that we needed to wait a whole year to do it, which we couldn't afford because you need to go on the road.
Drummond Vinyl isn't the only one. Pressing plants are opening up all over Canada.
I think it brings all age groups to the record stores. There are people who are 10 years old. There are people that are 80 years old in line. We've seen it all over the last 18 years.
April 18th is Record Store Day, where labels, big and small, push rare limited edition reissues. Canadian classic rock band Honeymoon Suite is reissuing one of its records because there's a new generation curious about vinyl.
I think people just got tired of streaming and listening to compressed MP3 files that don't really sound that great. What can I say? My son is 28 years old, and he's totally into vinyl.
This year's Record Store Day will come with a twist. That's because record stores say there's one artist that everyone is looking for.
Well, at the moment, there's a Quebec band called Angine de Poitrine.
It's clearly the two records from Angine de Poitrine.
Angine de Poitrine is a Quebec avant-garde band that exploded onto the international stage in recent weeks. Drummond Vinyl was tasked with fulfilling the demand.
I've never seen anything like that from my own eyes with that kind of music happening here. So for us to be first part of it was incredible. What a huge privilege to be involved in that incredible success.
For artists and fans, it's the kind of excitement they haven't seen since the days everyone assumed that vinyl was dead. Stéphane Giroux, CTV News.
This baby gibbon is getting a taste of the sun. Born during the winter, this little one came out of its enclosure this week at the Swedish Zoo, and it would not let go of mom. This is a young white-cheeked gibbon, which is listed as critically endangered. It's too soon to tell if this baby is a boy or a girl. The gibbons change color at around 6 months.
start to our Wednesday out there. It's 2 degrees, 1 or 2 clouds lingering. Winds shaking around our camera out of the south at 18 kilometers per hour. There we go. The barometric pressure is falling and the humidity sits at 99%. The southerly winds are going to be ramping up for us here in the south. They're also going to be pretty strong to the north, where you're currently dealing with some snowfall warnings. You can see the disturbances lightly picking up, though it's tracking through central regions more as rainfall, as temperatures in that neck of the woods are warmer. But yes, as a fact, we are going to be dealing with potentially some rainfall, precipitation, and snowfall of our own, a little bit all mixed in there. As such, weather alerts have been issued in the form of a special weather statement in the areas lit up in gray. This is from Environment and Climate Change Canada. That agency warns that a late spring storm is likely approaching. Slated to hit, southwestern Manitoba into tomorrow, and then us overnight on Thursday. About 4 to 8 centimeters could be wrapped into that system, along with some freezing drizzle, particularly along the Trans-Canada corridor. Meanwhile, northern Manitoba, the snowfall is a bit more immediate. You're dealing with it through today, which means yellow snowfall warnings have been issued in those regions. But the good news is, if you can enjoy the here and now, we have just such a lovely day ahead. Really a misnomer for what's to come for us later on this week. 18 degrees, 11 is what's typical. We haven't been above seasonal in some time. Very strong southerly winds, as mentioned. Temperatures dipping overnight, taking a real plunge to -5. Chance of freezing rain, and then the calm again before the storm, even though the temperature is quite cool at 1 degree. Overcast skies before that snowfall is likely to come to us overnight Thursday. It continues into Friday, and it's going to take until the start of next week to rebound with our temperatures. The good news is we'll have some sunshine.
An incredible story of survival is coming out of southern Manitoba. Mounties say a 4-year-old boy is in stable condition after falling into a creek and getting sucked through a culvert. It happened late Monday afternoon on a property southeast of Winkler. RCMP say the boy was playing near a creek without his parents' permission when some ice broke away and he fell into the water. His older brother went and got his mom, who, with the help of a neighbor, managed to find the boy after he went through the culvert and pulled him to safety. His mother did CPR to revive him before paramedics arrived, and he was airlifted to a Winnipeg hospital. University of Manitoba researchers are getting a boost to improve patient-oriented research at the Centre for Healthcare Innovation. The Canadian Institutes of Health Research is extending funding for 2 years for Manitoba's Strategy for Patient-Oriented Research Support Unit. $2.6 million in federal funding will be used to strengthen collaboration between patients, caregivers, researchers, and decision makers to improve outcomes. It will also help build on Shared Health's patient and family advisor network, Indigenous health partnerships, researcher training, and patient perspectives in health decisions. We'll get an update from Ottawa on the economy later this month.
We'll have the pleasure to present the Spring Economic Update on the 28th of April to this House, Mr. Speaker. This is going to be a plan that is going to help families, it's going to help our industry, it's going to help our nation, Mr. Speaker.
The Spring Economic Update is coming on April 28th. That day will mark 1 year since the Liberals' election win. The last federal budget projected a $78.3 billion deficit. 7-Eleven is planning to close hundreds of stores in North America. According to its latest earnings report, the chain plans to close 645 locations in Canada and the U.S. this fiscal year. But it will also open 205 new stores. This will be the 5th straight year that 7-Eleven will shrink its footprint in North America. The chain operates more than 13,000 stores in Canada and the U.S. A film school to call their own. That's what a group of Indigenous filmmakers would like to see here in Winnipeg, and they have their eye on an iconic downtown theatre. CTV's Joseph Bernacki explains.
Charlene Moore loves being on both sides of the camera. Acting and directing are two of her passions. That's why she joined the Winnipeg Indigenous Filmmakers Collective.
Through the work of us coming together for a story, like something beautiful and magical happens every single time.
Every second Wednesday of the month, Moore and her fellow filmmakers meet here at the Winnipeg Film Group. She says collaboration is essential to get stories like theirs to the screen, projects often overlooked by the mainstream industry.
The scope of storytelling and allowing for voices who haven't been heard before to speak.
This week, members of the collective talked about purchasing this theater. the Old Town 8 Cinemas building, which they imagine could be a hub for Indigenous film. The property has been on the market for more than 3 years.
A few of the collective members, our advisory group, are really thinking about opening up a film school. Like, we have skills, we know a lot of people.
Rachel Bolio is a director with more than 15 years in the business. She wants to give back to the community that helped launch her career by developing a space of their own. The tricky part? Financing a $2.25 million asking price.
I think it's a great use. The challenge always is getting the money together and finding the financing.
Rennie Zagalski from Capital Real Estate says a number of Indigenous filmmakers toured the property in the past couple of months, despite the hefty price tag. Still, Moore says it doesn't hurt to dream big.
Winnipeg is like an epicenter of storytelling, specifically with Indigenous filmmakers. Having that opportunity to showcase our work somewhere permanently would be amazing.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Another piece of the Hudson Bay Company is now up for sale. The brass signs that once adorned the Toronto flagship location are going up for auction. You can bid on 8 of them online with Heffel Fine Art Auction House, running until April the 21st. All of the signs feature the company's name, its coat of arms, and a date stamp of when the company was incorporated in 1670. They are estimated to be worth between $1,000 and $1,500, but will likely sell for far more. One of the same signs from the building was bought for more than $55,000 in February. Heffel has been auctioning off thousands of HBC art and artifacts since last year, when the department store filed for creditor protection and closed its locations. A baby monkey at a zoo in Mexico has been given its own teddy bear. They're connecting real well, too. The teddy is meant to be a companion since its inexperienced mom is unable to care for it. The monkey is doing well, though. Zookeepers are giving him baby formula, vitamins, and protein cereal to keep him healthy. Here's a look at what's happening right now on the drive along Confusion Corner. It looks like things are slowly picking up in this part of the city and overall moving quite well at this point. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.71 and the lowest price in the city is $1.57. The same at gas stations on Isabel Street, Salter Street, and Gateway Road. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
When you are in trouble and you call 911, these are the people that answer your call. We're going to learn more about how important they are in our city for National Telecommunicators Week. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Gosh, it's a pleasant start to this Wednesday. It almost makes what's coming feel a little bit worse. It's 2 degrees. It's pretty clear out here. The sun is up and just gorgeous. Winds decently strong out of the south. They're going to be ramping up considerably into the afternoon. Barometric pressure falling. Humidity sits at 99%. Got a whole smorgasbord of weather conditions to tell you about. So we're going to start in the north, where there are yellow snowfall warnings in effect. Environment and Climate Change Canada predicts that about a couple centimeters at least of snow, heavy and blowing snow, will be coming your way throughout the day today and overnight, tapering off into tomorrow. Meanwhile, for us here in the south, it's the calm before the storm to the tune of above seasonal values. For Winnipeg, that's 18 degrees. Sunshine and strong southwesterly winds at 40, gusting at times to 60 kilometers per hour, likely around noon. Then into tonight, we're likely to see a low pressure system push into the southwest, and then moving to us overnight on Thursday in Winnipeg. 4 to 8 centimeters could be coming our way. Let's throw it on over to our own Tandy Vera, who's learning about Telecommunicators Week. Tandy, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Today we're recognizing the voices behind 911 calls, and this morning we're getting a closer look at what happens when you dial 911. So joining me right now is Owen Park. Good morning, Owen.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. Now, the first big question is, when should people call 911?
Yeah, I think to sum that up would be anything immediately threatening life, health, or property. So things like a heart attack, a stroke, shortness of breath, that's kind of life-threatening in nature. Something like a fuel spill or a car accident could be threatening health, and then something like maybe fire, whether it's garbage or it's a structure, that would be threatening property. So anything with immediate danger that way would be the perfect time to call, and we want you to call.
Yeah, and what exactly happens from the first moment someone dials 911? Just walk us through that.
Yeah, so here in the city of Winnipeg, when you dial 911, you get the police call takers, and they'll ask what's the nature of the emergency, what's going on there. And from there, if it's medical related, if it's fire related, they'll put you through to us, and then you'll get to speak to one of our call takers. And they're going to ask for your address. They're going to ask for your phone number in case the phone drops. And then from there, they have a series of questions, and it's very important to answer those questions. Each one is designed to get you the most appropriate help and as quickly as possible. You're looking at some questions like, how are they responding? How are they? How's their breathing? How are they doing? How's their skin color? All those things help determine what kind of resources to get them. And same with on the fire side, so that's all very important. One thing to note is you may have up to 3 people responding to your call at the same time. So you have your call taker you're speaking with, you have the dispatcher who's sending out those resources, and then you have another person on the radio with the crews, giving them live information as the call taker's updating it. And so even when you're freaking out, you're maybe in a high-stress situation, there's help already being organized, help already on the way to you, and yeah, lots of people behind the scenes trying to help you.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Yeah.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is 39 points lower. The Nasdaq had small losses. The S&P index is flat. This is slightly lower. Our Canadian dollar is set to 72.60 cents US. Overseas, the Hang Seng added 75 points, and the Nikkei is 256 points higher. Good morning. It is 6:47. The Manitoba government is directing millions of dollars in additional funding to the CFS system.
And we've heard very, very clearly that the system is needing dollars, and we were able to do that this year in 2026 budget. So I'm very happy to announce, again, $29.2 million for child welfare.
This includes nearly $19 million for the cost of care and services, along with $3 million for agency worker wages, and more than $7 million for increased maintenance rates for caregivers. The province says this pushes total funding for CFS services to $458 million. The former operator of a seniors care home in Winnipeg is asking a court to decide how much it will have to pay after the province expropriated its facility. Golden Door Geriatric Center was taken over in February after occupancy rates dropped, leaving 25 beds open. A statement of claim was filed last week against the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority. The documents say the center, which operated under the company Pembina Care Services Limited, told the health authority in March last year of its intent to permanently close. It alleges after negotiations with the province to buy the facility failed, the province moved to expropriate it. According to the claim, the WRHA believes it's owed more than $1 million, while the center says it only owes $387,000. No statement of defense has been filed, and none of the claims has been tested in court. A spokesperson for the WRHA declined to comment. Not everyone on GLP-1 drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound drops weight. Clinical trials suggest about 10 to 15% of people who try them are non-responders when it comes to substantial weight loss. However, there is mounting evidence showing other health benefits from GLP-1 medications besides losing weight. GLP-1s can reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes and improve outcomes in heart failure, even when participants don't lose weight or if they gain weight. According to new findings from researchers at the University of Toronto, the drugs may also improve liver health. Their ability to tamp down inflammation may be a key reason that drugs help with heart conditions and kidney disease in ways independent of weight loss. The reigning Canadian men's curling champions have added one of the country's most decorated curlers to their rink. Matt Dunstone's Manitoba team has announced Mark Nichols is joining its rink as the new second, replacing E.J. Harnden, who is retiring. Nichols was the longtime third for Brad Gushue's Newfoundland and Labrador rink, curling with Gushue from 1999 to 2011 and again from 2014 to 2026. With Gushue, Nichols won gold at the 2006 Winter Olympics in Turin and bronze at the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing. He's been to 22 Briers since 2003, winning the championship 6 times with Gushue. The Winnipeg Jets played their final road game of the current season last night in Salt Lake City, taking on the Mammoth. In the second period, with just under 3 minutes left to play and the Jets on the power play, Kyle Connor picks up a rebound and blasts it home, putting the Jets on the board. In the third period, with about 7.5 left in the game and Utah up by 3, Mark Scheifele capitalizes on a Mammoth miscue, and the Jets get another goal to make it 4-2. Jets on the power play again with about 5.5 left in the game. Isaac Rosine from the Jets takes a pass off the faceoff and fires it home. And that made it a 1-goal game, but with under 30 seconds left and the Winnipeg net empty, the Mammoth score, making the final 5-3 for Utah. The Jets round out the season with their final game Thursday at home against the San Jose Sharks. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning following the rush hours. The westbound left turn storage lane on River Avenue will be closed from Harkness to Donald Street. The northbound curb lane on St. Mary's Road will be closed between Berrydale and Portland Avenue. And the eastbound curb lane on Chalmers Avenue will be closed from Henderson to Rock Street. If you see anything out on the streets, please send us a text.
It's a clear and decently cool start to the day at 2 degrees. Our winds decently strong out of the south at 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 99%. Going to try and focus on the positive. We do have a lovely day in store for us here in southern Manitoba. Above seasonal temperatures and sunshine abound. However, it is a bit of a misnomer as to what's to come. As such, we have a plethora of weather alerts to tell you about. So let's start with us here. We have a special weather statement in effect all throughout these areas lit up in gray, Winnipeg included in that. That's because an approaching low pressure system could be spreading about 4 to 8 centimeters worth of snow, likely arriving overnight in the southwest tonight, and then spreading to us into tomorrow, likely not until overnight. But with it, some freezing drizzle could be there as well, some strong winds. Not really what we want to see in April. It's in fact described as a late spring storm. And to the north, you likely dealing with heavy snow. Some areas like Thompson already dealing with it throughout the day, so a yellow snowfall warning is in effect for you. Look for that snowfall to continue overnight and then tapering off from there. Temperatures still pretty chilly at -10 degrees in Thompson, -12 in Gillam. Churchill staying dry and sunny at -13. To the northwest with that heavy snow, highs across the board of -9. Southwestern Manitoba, sunshine for you, and same for us. Maybe some clouds into the afternoon with some strong and gusty southwesterly winds. Northwestern Ontario, maybe some mixed precipitation. Temperatures decent though in the low to upper teens. Overnight tonight, temperatures take a plunge, tipping down to -5 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 1, and then from there, we're likely to get that snowfall overnight lasting through Friday.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's check in now on Bo and Gabby at Bounce 99.9. Good morning, you two. Happy Wednesday.
Happy hump day, and we're talking camping because, you know, people are registering for camping spots.
Yep.
I myself do not come from a camping family. I don't really have any great stories. Most of my camping was done here in the city, in backyards when we were kids. We'd camp out. Yeah, we'd stay up late and run rampant in the neighborhood and, you know, terrorize the neighbors. We'd play knock on ginger and then laugh when they came to the door and nobody was there. Yes, so that's the extent of my camping, but this one here, you're a bit of a camper.
My dad used to make us go on these long canoe trips where we'd have to portage as a kid.
Yeah.
And my big takeaways, Rochelle, were always the snacks and the bathroom, because I have a really vivid memory of one canoe trip. I got to sit in the middle. My sister had to paddle. I wasn't old enough to paddle.
Yeah.
So I just sat there, ate my potato chips, and there was this outhouse that smelled of cedar. It wasn't gross. It was the most beautiful outhouse I've ever seen. And I remember looking up because it was open up at the stars, going to the bathroom, being like, I could live here. I could live in this outhouse. I'll just stay here for the rest of my camping trip. But you're a big camper, right?
Well, we used to camp in all kinds of weird spots. We'd like canoe to the middle of a lake somewhere, find an island, put up a tent and stay there for 3 days, and really like took baths in the lake. Like it was as hardcore. But then as I had children and my husband and I decided to just do the tenting thing at a campground, but booking those campsites, it's quite a procedure. And so often we would end up going to campsites we'd never known or seen before and went on quite a few adventures. But we camped large. We had a 10-person tent. We had air mattresses. The kids had their little devices to watch their films. Like, we camped large, so they didn't suffer too much. We slept in the same tent for 10 years until the zippers finally blew right off, and then it was over. But it was so much fun. Anyway, guys, have a great day. We'll see you Friday. A woman has found companionship in the form of a pair of flying friends who she believes was sent to her as a message from a lost love. Here's CTV's Adam Sawatsky.
Less happy memories fill Roberta Flora's home.
Look at me with my baby.
This one chair,
my husband's chair,
is empty.
I was with my husband till his last breath. The doctor came in and said, "You did it right. Until death do us part."
Yet leaving the hospital without Gianni after 33 years of marriage felt wrong. Roberta was engulfed by grief. Until that night, she felt an unexpected and comforting presence.
And he said, "It's me." I go, "Gianni, yeah, you were so sad they let me come back for a while."
But when she woke up, her Gianni wasn't there. Although Roberta then heard something was.
And I go to the window and then they're, go, go, go. Yeah.
It was a couple of seagulls, which Roberta said she'd never seen before, let alone landing so close to her home.
I think my husband sent them.
Why do you think he did that?
Because he loves me. He showed it every day.
And he's still showing it every day.
Still. Yeah.
Because every day since the day after her husband died, Roberta says the seagulls have stopped by for a visit.
Go, "Hi, you guys, I'm coming out."
Well, sometimes she feeds them.
"Hey, what you doing? Come here."
Every time they have a conversation.
Well, I tell them how cute they are and that I love them and I'm glad they come and visit me.
And rather than get stuck in grieving,
oh, I love it. They're my friends.
The seagulls remind her that Gianni would want her to keep living.
Oh, it's just wonderful. You forget all the bad stuff.
And you remember all the good stuff you can still find when you start looking for life after loss.
Yeah, they keep me happy.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Esquimalt.
That's a sweet story. Here's a look outside now. The day is starting with a beautiful sunrise. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. It's Wednesday, April 15th. Today, mixed reactions. What Manitobans have to say about the federal gas tax cut. Plus, moving Manitoba forward. What was on the agenda when the Premier met with Prime Minister Carney? And work permit worries. Why a group of international students rallied at the legislature. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba, at 7 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, the gas tax relief that we're going to get starts on Monday, and we're going to hear from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, what they think about this tax break and what they'd like to see instead, because I know that they're happy about it, but only to a certain extent. So we're going to find out about that. But let's talk about this weather. It's going to be beautiful today, but really it's kind of going to trick us into thinking we're in paradise, but we're not.
Mother Nature can't make up her mind because we're swinging all over the place. Today is going to be a lovely day. Above seasonal temperatures, we haven't been able to say that in a while. In fact, look how stunning our live eye looks. It's 2 degrees, decently clear. Winds strong out of the south. They're going to get much stronger. Currently at 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. Humidity at 99%. So yes, we have a couple of weather alerts to tell you about. So we're starting with us here in the south in areas lit up in gray. This represents a special weather statement, Winnipeg included in that. Environment and Climate Change Canada warns that a late spring storm could be headed our way. About 4 to 8 centimeters could track into the province beginning in the southwest overnight tonight, likely not reaching us until late tomorrow. And with it, a risk of freezing rain. It's still a bit early in forecasting to say where it's likely going to hit, but it could cause some road issues out there, and it could be fairly widespread. And that'll be short-lived. That's the good news. The other weather alert that we're tracking are these yellow snowfall warnings, because this is more imminent. In fact, snow already falling in many areas of the north, including Thompson. Strong, heavy snow and blowing snow is possible today and overnight. Upwards of 10 centimeters worth. Hate to even say any of these totals. You can see it on our Futurecast there. This is the culprit behind those yellow snowfall warnings. As the day progresses, it tracks quickly, so it's likely to move out of your neck of the woods overnight. And then coming up, a separate low pressure system likely tracking into the southwest tomorrow before the tail end strikes us overnight. Again, a couple centimeters of snow, but I mentioned it will be short-lived. I mentioned it's going to be lovely today, 18 degrees, but we really take a major dive overnight, and it's not going to be until the start of next week before we're recovering to above seasonal values. Your weather art of the day. Mrs. White's kindergarten class at Hampstead School did a number of photos of beautiful snowfall. I'm going to just look at these and try and remind myself that the snow coming our way is fleeting. Thank you so much for sending, and if you'd like to submit your child's weather art, do so on our website. Fill out the form for your chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
Some much-needed relief at the pumps is on its way. The federal government is temporarily cutting a tax on gasoline and fuel, and it's expected to save you 10 cents a liter on gas and 4 cents on diesel. CTV's Jeff Keel has more.
At $1.79.9 a liter, drivers don't mince words about the high cost at the pump.
Terrible. I don't know what to say about it.
I don't even want to think about what I would be spending per year.
Can't afford to do, to pay gas.
With the war in Iran driving gas prices up, some relief is on the way. The federal government is temporarily suspending a tax on gas and diesel starting next week until Labor Day.
This will remove up to 10 cents per liter on gasoline and 4 cents per liter on diesel fuel.
Some welcomed a 10-cent break at the gas station.
I mean, anything will help, right? Anything will help. Anything that makes it go down.
Well, it's better than a kick in the head.
Others say it won't make much of a dent.
That's a minor thing, right? I mean, 10 cents from $1.80, like that's not really helping anything.
Sounds like a political game to me. I don't think it's really going to make a big difference.
Still, the Canadian Taxpayers Federation says this cut is a good first step.
You'll be saving about $7 every single time you fill up a minivan, or about $10 when you fill up a pickup truck.
The CTF says the break should be made permanent and is calling on Manitoba to slash the 12.5 cent per liter tax on gas here. Premier Wab Kinew has mused about it.
But here in Manitoba, we're focused on you. That's right. We cut the gas tax once, maybe we'll do it again.
But it appears nothing is certain yet. A provincial spokesperson says the province continues to monitor prices. Those prices are even higher for truckers as diesel hovers around $2 per liter. So what does a 4 cent per liter break from the feds mean?
Does it have a large impact? No, but over time, it's going to save everybody a little bit of money.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The tax holiday begins April 20th and will last until September 7th. Ottawa says this will cost the government around $2.4 billion. The Port of Churchill topped the agenda Tuesday as Manitoba's premier met with the Prime Minister in Ottawa.
You know, his initiatives around building out a big infrastructure in full partnership with Indigenous peoples in the Port of Churchill, top priority for our government, top priority for you.
Prime Minister Mark Carney and Premier Wab Kinew held their second quarterly meeting on the Churchill Plus project. It follows the signing of a collaboration agreement on environmental and impact assessment, which will streamline regulatory processes to minimize duplication and uphold Indigenous rights. Discussions also included Churchill's strategic role in defending Arctic sovereignty, federal health funding, support for Manitoba's agriculture industry, and help for a possible spring flood here in Manitoba. A group of international students and workers is calling on the province to once more extend work permits.
We just wanted to know we are suffering. We need the extension like as soon as possible.
A few dozen people gathered on the steps of the legislature to call attention to the issue. They say work permits for around 6,000 people are set to expire this year, and they're hoping the province extends them as it did in 2025. But the workers haven't heard anything official yet and say it's causing some concern.
We are working every day, but on top of that, we have to consider our status here in the country. So that gives a lot of psychological burden as well.
Once a permit expires, the workers say they only have 90 days for it to be approved once more before being forced to leave the country. We'll get an update from Ottawa on the economy later this month.
I will have the pleasure pleasure to present the Spring Economic Update on the 28th of April to this House, Mr. Speaker. This is going to be a plan that is going to help families, it's going to help our industry, it's going to help our nation, Mr. Speaker.
The Spring Economic Update is coming on April 28th. That day will mark 1 year since the Liberals' election win. The last federal budget projected a $78.3 billion deficit. We have new video showing the moment the hatch of the Orion capsule was opened, welcoming Canadian Jeremy Hansen and the other Artemis II astronauts back to Earth.
Sing it. Yes! Let's go!
Cheers were heard from the recovery crew and from inside as fresh air filled the capsule for the first time in nearly 10 days. The crew was then greeted with enthusiastic handshakes. The celebrations came moments after the capsule streaked back to Earth at blistering speeds before parachuting softly to what NASA called a bullseye landing. All right, here's a look outside now on Portage Avenue. Looks like a pretty good start to the day so far. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see anything out there, though, please text them to us when it's safe and legal to do so.
Canadians and Americans continue to take significant financial hits at the gas pump amid record high prices. U.S. President Donald Trump is waving away concerns over the cost of fuel and says he's more than content with crude oil prices at $92 a barrel amid the ongoing U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Speaking to Fox Business Network host Maria Bartiromo in an interview that had been taped late Tuesday, Trump said he was very surprised that crude prices were only at $92 a barrel and predicted that the war could be over very soon, while suggesting that the hit to Americans' pocketbooks has been very worthwhile because the war has degraded Iran's ability to develop a nuclear weapon. More than 36 U.S. senators from both parties will urge the Trump administration on Wednesday to extend the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement in spite of the president's skepticism. We support efforts to fully enforce the existing terms of the agreement, curb unfair practices, and address outstanding trade barriers that disadvantage American agriculture, Senator Steve Daines, a Republican from Montana, and other lawmakers wrote in a letter to U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer. And it was shared first with Semaphore. Officials must agree this year to extend the pact, which President Donald Trump signed during his first term, past July 1st. Greer said this month he'll reveal the U.S. position at the start of June. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go back now to CTV's Tanda Vera this morning, who's telling us all about National Telecommunicators Week. Good morning, Tandy.
Yeah, good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. This week is all about recognizing the voices behind 911 calls. They're the calm and the chaos. They're the people we call when we're in such stressful, difficult situations, and they're just such a support that we do need to be very grateful for them, not just this week, but every other week. And just chatting to a few of the operators this morning, it takes so much energy and time. It's a 12-hour shift, so it's long shifts. Sometimes emotional calls, which they sit through with people. Sometimes they even guide people through CPR. So there's a lot that really goes into it. And later on during the show, we're going to be chatting about some of the career options that they have here, as well as just what goes into a day-to-day life and shift in the morning. So we have more lined up here on your morning.
It's kind of cool to be in there. All right, thank you, Tandy. Let's go out to the rooftop now. The sun is shining. How's it feeling out there?
You know, it's lovely. There's actually a slight bit of mist being reported. I'm not feeling it here in downtown Winnipeg, but in and around the airport. But for the most part, it's sunny throughout the province and mild, 2 degrees. Winds have shifted out of the south-southeast at 15 clicks. Pressure falling. Humidity sits at 98%. Okay, so for us here in the south, we were issued a special weather alert this morning by Environment and Climate Change Canada, warning of a late spring storm. Dreaded words to hear in April. About 4 to 8 centimeters is possible, tracking in from the west. Timing-wise, it's likely to begin overnight and into tomorrow in the southwest. Likely joining us not until overnight tonight, or tomorrow night, excuse me, on Thursday. Mixed in a good strong risk rather, of freezing drizzle, mostly around the Trans-Canada corridor. So not great, but the good news is it'll be short-lived. It'll likely only last through the day for us on Winnipeg on Friday. Northern Manitoba, this is old hat to you because you are in the crosshairs of some yellow snowfall warnings. Upwards of 10 centimeters likely coming your way in the form of heavy and at times sometimes blowing snow. Temperatures there not terrible in the mid-minus single digits to low-minus teens. For us here in the south, I'm going to end on the good news. We have a lovely day ahead before that storm rolls in. 18 degrees in Winnipeg with lots of sunshine.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Thank you, Catherine. It's time now for our question of the day. Today is National Canadian Film Day, so we want to know, what's your favorite Canadian film or TV show? Mine is, I really like SCTV and Degrassi Junior High. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back right after this. Good morning. The Manitoba government says nearly 110,000 sandbags have now been delivered to Peguis First Nation as the risk of flooding looms along the Fisher River.
It's a bit of an all-hands-on-deck situation, just like during, the COVID-19 pandemic response, just like last year during the wildfire. So there's a number of folks on site right now, particularly in Peguis.
In its latest update, the province's Hydrologic Forecast Center says runoff in the Fisher River Basin will likely start early next week and peak between April 23rd and the 28th. The center warns a quick melt could result in flows reaching catastrophic 2022 levels. That flood forced more than 2,000 people in Peguis out of their homes. The Manitoba government says some evacuations are likely this year as well. Manitoba's Transportation and Infrastructure Minister says her department is working with Peguis leadership, the federal government, and outside organizations to build dikes and protect homes in the Interlake. The Hydrologic Forecast Center is also warning of an elevated risk of overland flooding in the Parkland region. It's due to warmer temperatures expected in the coming days. A renowned Winnipeg philanthropist and volunteer has died. Tanis Richardson passed away at the age of 99. James Richardson and Sons Limited made the announcement in a news release. Richardson was described as an accomplished community leader and champion of arts and culture. She held numerous board appointments and was involved with the Kidney Foundation of Manitoba, the International Society for Heart Research, United Way, Ronald McDonald Children's Charity, and the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. Richardson was also instrumental in the development of the Winnipeg Art Gallery. She was the recipient of numerous awards, including being named a member of the Order of Canada in 2003. In 2020, she published an autobiography called Vignettes from My Life. Convenience store chain 7-Eleven expects to close hundreds of locations this year. The company's North American operator will shut down 645 stores in the 2026 fiscal year. 7-Eleven did not specify which locations could be impacted or explain the reason for the closures. The convenience giant has closed hundreds of underperforming locations over the years, with the latest cuts arriving as higher prices strain consumers worldwide. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic right now on McPhillips Street. It looks like things are moving quite well in this part of the city. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us, please, at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
In entertainment, the trailer was just released for a classic TV show reboot that was filmed in our province.
And even though they were all alone, and very small against the sky and the stars, they were happy.
Netflix is out with the first look at the first season of Little House on the Prairie. It was filmed in Winnipeg and the surrounding area. Based on the classic semi-autobiographical book of the same name, it tells the story of the Ingalls family, who try to make a life for themselves in the American Midwest in the 19th century. It premieres on Netflix July the 9th. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame revealed its 2026 class of inductees. Grammy-winning pop rock icon Phil Collins, known for solo hits like In the Air Tonight, is heading into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on his very first time on the ballot. He's already been inducted once before as a member of Genesis. This year's class is also bringing a bit of Manchester into the spotlight, with Brit pop legends Oasis recently reunited and made up of brothers Noel and Liam Gallagher getting a nod. Other inductees include Sade, Queen Latifah, and Wu-Tang Clan. The induction ceremony is set for November in Los Angeles. Today is National Canadian Film Day. The annual showcase of the country's cinema includes 2,000 free screenings across the country. Every province and territory is participating in the event, with schools, libraries, seniors' homes, and theaters across the country showcasing movies. Cannes Film Day was first launched in 2014, celebrating Canadian stories and the achievements of Canadian filmmakers. Coming up tonight on your primetime lineup, MasterChef is back at 7 with an international twist. Then Catch the Floor at 8, followed by Shark Tank at 9. And Scrubs is wrapping things up at 10 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
If our weather story for the day was a movie, it would be something with like a twist, because we are going to be thrown this way, that way, and another way by by Mother Nature, excuse me, because we've got so much in store ahead. 2 degrees is the calm before the storm, with some light mist barely picking up out there. Winds are to the south-southeast at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling, humidity at 98%. Yes, gorgeous day unfolding, and then a twist to come in the days to come. Looking at these mild temperatures across the south, most of us are sitting at around 2 degrees, although Dauphin and Brandon hovering at around 0, and Kenora and Gimli sitting below freezing. Northern Manitoba, a chillier start to your day to set up a chilly Wednesday ahead. Minus 20 degrees in Lynn Lake, minus 23 with Churchill, but of course with that wind chill, it's feeling closer to minus 35 degrees. Some slight disturbances picking up on our sky watch, but it's not showing kind of the threats that are going to be lingering in our skies within a couple of days to come. So we have some weather alerts to tell you about. To northern Manitoba, yellow snowfall warnings. That's because northern Manitoba is getting a good amount of snowfall already falling. Environment and Climate Change Canada forecasts about 10 to 15 centimeters worth, and that snow will be heavy and at times blowing. And then the areas in gray, which does include Winnipeg and Brandon, a special weather statement because of a late spring storm that could be bringing about 4 to 8 centimeters into tonight and into tomorrow as well. Today, though, again, a twist. 4 degrees as kids head to class, 14 as they take lunch, getting even warmer as they head home at 16, and we're heating up from there to 18 degrees. And then the turn overnight, we're seeing temperatures plunge to 1, and then likely we'll start to see that snowfall come overnight, lasting only a day. There's the good news. Wondering if this mother goose is unhappy that she decided to come back so early. There she is tending to her eggs. Thank you so much for Leonora for snapping this just beautiful photo in Winnipeg, and keep your weather pictures coming.
April 15th, 1955, Ray Kroc opens his first McDonald's franchise in Des Plaines, Illinois. That single location became the starting point for what would grow into one of the largest fast food chains in the world. A museum commemorating the location was built in the 1980s. It was demolished in 2018. April 15th, 1999, Wayne Gretzky played his last NHL hockey game in Canada at the Corel Centre in Canada, home of the Ottawa Senators. The next day, Gretzky, who held more than 60 league records, announced he was retiring. He retired as a member of the New York Rangers, the 4th NHL team in his iconic career. April 15th, 2019, fire broke out at the iconic Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. The devastating fire destroyed much of the almost 900-year-old building, leaving a blackened shell. After a massive rebuilding project, it reopened in December of 2024. Many Canadians are looking forward to the cost of gas dropping on Monday when the government's new fuel tax holiday kicks in. But some are still skeptical it will save them money in the long run. Here's CTV's Alex Karpa.
Yeah, so a primary tillage tractor like this holds about 1,000 liters of fuel.
Farmer Kevin Peters spends about $1,500 to fill this tractor, and during busy season, that fuel can be gone in just 24 hours.
Takes a lot of fuel to run big equipment.
Peters says the costs are adding up quickly.
The fuel increase this year could easily add $50,000 for sure to our bottom line.
The Prime Minister's cost-cutting move to excise tax on gas and diesel starts next week. Diesel prices could drop by about 4 cents per litre, but Peters says it won't directly impact his operation.
As farmers, we are already exempt from that tax on our own marked diesel on farm, so our equipment has that exemption.
The trucking industry says while the savings are welcome, the overall impact will be limited.
Everybody helps right now. It's challenging as prices increase. So does it have a large impact? No, but over time, it's going to save everybody a little bit of money.
Economists believe the tax break could slightly lower the cost of transported goods, including food, but it comes with trade-offs.
There will be a large cost to be paid, both in terms of lost tax revenue as well as environmental damage because people will drive more.
Peters says this temporary cut is a good thing for consumers, but wants to see more supports for farmers like himself to help bring the cost of diesel down. Alex Carpa, CTV News in Randolph, Manitoba.
This is National Communicators Week. Tandy Vera is live where 911 operators are working really hard right now. Stay with us for more on why we need to think about and reflect on them. Emergency communications centers are vital in saving people's lives every single day, and Tandy Vera is going to tell us more on why we need to reflect on those people who work there. Good morning, Tandy.
Good morning. Yeah, this week we're highlighting the voices behind those 911 calls. And this morning I'm joined by Deputy Chief Tom Wallace. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Now, this is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. What is it, and why is it important to recognize it?
So every year at this time, we recognize our public safety telecommunicators. It's really about bringing visibility to the work that they do. I think the public typically sees police, firefighters, paramedics doing their work in the field, and they don't often see the important work that these folks do. So it's bringing that visibility and recognition for them.
And just to put into perspective, how busy does it get here?
Hundreds of calls every shift for these folks. Hundreds of thousands of calls a year.
Yeah. And it's also just a very challenging job. Can you chat a bit more about that?
Sure. I mean, these folks are taking calls from members of the public who are having their worst day. And the calm that they bring to those calls, the assurance that they can bring to those individuals, and even the life-saving instructions that they can provide before our field operations crews arrive is really important.
Yeah, and it's important to recognize them, and that's what this whole week's about, though I think we should recognize them all the time. Now, how can people show appreciation this week?
So we've received a lot of letters and drawings from kids from various different schools. But yeah, just being able to recognize the work that they do. And if you've got friends or family who are involved in this work, just give that little extra thanks.
And can you just chat a little bit more about why it's important to do so, going into the job and its challenges?
Yeah, again, I think these are the first responders, but they don't often get the recognition that they deserve. So again, it's bringing that visibility forward for the public to know the importance of the work that they do.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's such an important week. We should always appreciate our operators every day, not just this week. So if you have a moment to do that, you should do that.
Okay, thank you, Tandy. Catherine, yesterday my husband took off my winter tires.
So it's his fault.
Yes, it's his fault this is all happening.
Yes. You're hearing from my lawyers, let me tell you.
Well, because it was supposed to be really hot today, so I was like, I don't want to damage my winter tires, but now I'm probably going to need them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the strange thing. I want to celebrate what we have coming today because things take such a drastic turn in the next couple of days, depending on where you're at, when that system's going to hit. But yes, it is imminent. Right now, though, pleasant, 2 degrees, a little bit misty out there. In fact, there's some mist as well in Dauphin. Not being felt terribly in downtown, but other parts of the province, or parts of the city, excuse me. Winds out of the south-southeast at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling. Humidity at 98%. So yes, you see this light disturbance here. That's what's kind of causing a little bit of moisture, maybe some dampness, some mist, maybe some light drizzle. But that's just that's the least of our problems, if you will. We have a plethora of weather alerts, including for us here in southern Manitoba, the special weather statement just issued earlier this morning. That's because a late winter storm could be bringing a wintry mix, if you will, about 4 to 8 centimeters of snow potentially, and wrapped in there a good risk of freezing drizzle potentially south of the Trans-Canada corridor through southwestern Manitoba and into the Red River Valley. So that could be coming as well. Timing of that likely arriving in Brandon overnight tonight and not really arriving for us until late tomorrow. Meanwhile, more urgently, we have these snowfall warnings in effect for northern Manitoba, as you too likely to receive heavy snow associated with a different low pressure system, about 10 to 15 centimeters worth going on throughout the day. But yes, today, sunny, gonna feel like Jamaica, because wow, we haven't had a high above seasonal in a while. 18 degrees with strong and gusty winds. Temperatures though plummeting overnight to -5 with those strong southerly winds persisting. And then tomorrow, a bit of calmness, cloudy, 1 degree. We're likely not going to be getting the bulk of that system until overnight. And Friday is when we start to see the crux of it. 0 degrees with that snowfall. It will be short-lived. The sunshine emerges on Saturday.
An incredible story of survival is coming out of southern Manitoba. Mounties say a 4-year-old boy is in stable condition after falling into a creek and getting sucked through a culvert. It happened late Monday afternoon on a property southeast of Winkler. RCMP say the boy was playing near a creek without his parents' permission when some ice broke away and he fell into the water. His older brother went and got his mom, who, with the help of a neighbor, managed to find the boy after he went through the culvert and pulled him to safety. His mother did CPR to revive him before paramedics arrived, and he was airlifted to a Winnipeg hospital. The Manitoba Métis Federation's plan to become a major supplier of wind energy appears to be another step closer to reality. The MMF has settled on a site near Neepawa for the 200-megawatt project. It would encompass a large plot of land north of Neepawa and Minnedosa. The organization expects it to include anywhere between 28 and 36 wind turbines and employ some 300 people during construction. It adds it's already had preliminary meetings with officials from the RMs of Minto O'Donnell and Rosedale. The MMF is hosting an open house at the Polonia Community Hall tomorrow night between 5 and 8 for anyone interested in learning more about the project. A break at the gas pump is coming next Monday. Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced a pause on the federal fuel tax, but there's a mixed reaction to the move.
Even just like when your car is at a red light for too long, you're like, oh my goodness, my gas is running out.
Bravo to Mark Carney. I think it's good, but I think it should be for all the time.
Sounds like a political game to me. I don't think it's really going to make a big difference. I think we need a long-term solution.
So starting Monday, you can expect to see pump prices drop by 10 cents a litre until Labor Day. Diesel will drop by 4 cents, and airlines will also see relief on jet fuel. So what does it mean for you? On average, depending on your car, the size of your gas tank, and how much you drive, you can expect to save about $20 a month. The Conservatives say it's not enough and are pushing for all gas taxes to be suspended for the rest of the year. Some experts are also not on board, saying to get long-term lower prices, you need to lower demand, which means keeping prices high.
Quarter where the oil prices are above $90 for a period of time, then as of July 1st, that fuel tax will come off completely.
Meanwhile, Alberta has no plans to cut the provincial gas tax. The province is sticking with its existing fuel tax, at least until July, as oil prices remain volatile. How it works now is that Alberta's current relief program would eliminate its tax of 13 cents per litre if the average benchmark price remains at or above $90 US or dollars a barrel. Right now, it's unclear what the price will settle at next week, with gas stations switching from winter to a more expensive summer blend today. U.S. President Donald Trump says he thinks the Iran war is close to over.
Well, you keep saying was. Is this war over?
I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over. You know what? If I pulled up stakes right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild that country.
President Trump made that comment in an interview with Fox Business airing this morning. He also suggested yesterday talks with Iran and Pakistan could resume in the next 2 days. Tehran says it has no information about new talks. Meanwhile, the U.S. military says its blockade of Iranian ports is now fully in effect. Rolls-Royce has unveiled what's being called an ultra-luxury EV.
As you can see behind me, this car is of vast proportions, and that is purposeful. It harks back to those 1920s where we had significant motor cars with presence on the road.
This car is being called Project Nightingale. Only 100 are being made, making it not only ultra-luxurious, but also ultra-exclusive. At this point, they're not sharing how much this two-seater convertible will cost, but you can probably guess it'll be a lot. Oh, yes. Here's a look now at some road closures that are happening this morning. Following the rush hours, the westbound left turn storage lane on River Avenue will be closed from Harkness to Donald Street. The northbound curb lane on St. Mary's Road will be closed between Berrydale and Portland Avenue. And the eastbound curb lane on Chalmers Avenue will be closed from Henderson to Rock Street. If you have any other tips, please let us know. Here's a look at your gas prices in Winnipeg. The average is $1.71 and the lowest price in the city is $1.57. The same at gas stations on Isabel Street, Salter Street, and Gateway Road. All this information is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's going to be a beautiful day right now, starting off 2 degrees, and it's looking nice and sunny. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Clear and lovely start to the day, if not a slight bit misty. It's 2 degrees. Winds are out of the southeast. Pressure is falling. Humidity sitting at 98%. A lovely day to come through much of southern Manitoba. Not giving a lot of warning of what is to come. That's because, yes, we have a bit of a system, if you will, what's being described by Environment and Climate Change Canada as a late spring storm headed our way. So a plethora of warnings in effect, a smorgasbord, if you will. Yellow is our most urgent. Those are snowfall warnings in northern Manitoba. You're looking at heavy and blowing snow at times through much of the region throughout the day and into tonight before tapering off tomorrow. As much as 10 to 15 centimeters worth could be coming your way under very strong southerly winds. Meanwhile, the areas in gray represent a special weather statement issued just this morning. Look for those to potentially upgrade. That's because an approaching low pressure system could be bringing 4 to 8 centimeters of snowfall starting in the southwest, likely overnight tonight, and not really joining us until Thursday night. But it'll be short-lived, so that is the good news. Meanwhile, in the northeast, as we talked about that snowfall, your temperatures quite chilly for this time of year. Minus 10 degrees in Thompson, minus 12 in Gillam, minus 4 in Island Lake. To the northwest, a hair warmer, minus 9 degrees in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, the Paw, Flin Flon, and Lynn Lake. A little bit warmer in Norway House at minus 6. We have beautiful above seasonal values, which is kind of making it feel extra cruel that we have this wintry kind of blast coming our way. Look at these above seasonal values: 16 degrees in Brandon and Neepawa, 12 in Dauphin. Even warmer for us here in Winnipeg, and even Sprague hitting 20 degrees. Strong southwesterly winds, particularly around noon at 40 to 60 kilometers per hour. Meanwhile, mixed precipitation expected in the northwest. Temperatures plunging overnight tomorrow, a little bit more of calm, 1 degree before that wintry blast sets in on Friday.
Catherine, let's go now to Tandy Vera. We're talking about 911 operators and how they are hiring right now in the city. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. And yep, you're right, they're hiring. And I'm joined by Director Stacy. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, what makes a great emergency call taker?
You know what, emergency call taking isn't for everyone. That's the first and foremost, is that it's a challenging job, right? You have to be someone who has a lot of resilience, someone who, you're not internalizing other people's emergencies. It's not yours. You have to be able to use critical thinking. Critical thinking is important, being able to remain calm and controlled and help people in their time of need.
And what kind of training goes into the job?
So for fire paramedic service, you do have to have emergency medical responder license. That's a 9-month program, part-time program that people can get as soon as right out of high school. Basically, you have to be 18. And that program gives you the basics of being able to help somebody through CPR, maybe administer certain medications. It really helps set them up for success before they come on to training here. And then everything else, once they get here, is on-the-job training. A lot of on-the-job training. We have about 9 weeks in the classroom, and then followed by about 2 months of like on-the-job training to get them the basics of call taking and dispatch.
Yeah, and for someone who's watching and might be considering it, why would you tell them to choose this career?
You know what? It's a unique position because nothing's the same. Every single day you come in here, you don't know what to expect, which is kind of exciting. It's challenging for sure, but I think it's something that you don't think of as a career when you're, straight out of high school. And it's something people should think. It's really a great career option. There's growth opportunities. There's lots of different 911 boards and things you can get on as you progress through your career. So it's definitely something people should consider.
Yeah, and just very quickly, it's also very rewarding sometimes as well.
It is. It's one of those jobs that, not a lot of people say thank you. Obviously, when you're in crisis, that's the last thing you're thinking of is saying thank you to somebody. But the feeling you feel after knowing you helped somebody is huge, huge.
That's amazing. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Tandy. 10 years after his death, David Bowie's career is being explored in a whole new way. This new multimedia show aims to give audiences a sense of what it was like to see the music legend live. Material from Bowie's archive, including rare concert footage, photos, and handwritten lyrics, are projected onto 4 11-meter high walls. David Bowie, You're Not Alone, is currently booking shows from April 22nd to October the 10th. A remarkable true story of an epic journey is being brought to life on a Winnipeg stage. It tells the story of the first woman to cycle around the world.
It's September, and I've only made it to Chicago. There's no chance I can get through the Rockies to San Francisco before snow begins to fall.
Ride the Musical is based on the true story of Annie Londonderry, who set out in 1984 to become the first woman to cycle around the world. It's making its Canadian premiere right here in Winnipeg Thursday, courtesy of the Winnipeg Jewish Theatre.
We have to tell this extraordinary story of Annie's cycle around the world with only things you would find in an office. So it's pretty fun to get to create the world in that way, but it is definitely a challenge to do it. Only the two of us.
Ride the Musical runs from April 16th to May 2nd at the Bernie Theatre. You can find more details and tickets by visiting wjt.ca. Winnipeg's contemporary dancer season is coming to an end, but it's closing things out with a new show exploring the theme of pressure. Called Accumulation, the program explores what happens in life when things begin to pile up, both personally and professionally. And it delves into the shared experience of modern life, specifically the feeling that something has to give.
Explores sort of how we feel on the inside and outside when things just start to build up, pressure up. It could be society, it could be work, it could be your home life.
The show kicks off on April 17th and runs through the 19th at the Rachel Brown Theatre. Tickets are available through Winnipeg's Contemporary Dancers website. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 18th birthday, Katie. Your family sends their love and admiration for your strength and character. Happy 8th birthday, Pippin. Love mom and dad. Happy 3rd birthday, Dawson. Love grandma and grandpa. Happy 11th birthday, Emma. Love mom, Keenan and Layla. Happy birthday, Jackie. From Papa, Granny, your brothers, cousins, aunties, and uncles. And a happy 3rd birthday, Gracelyn. Love from mom, dad, Chase, and Grandma Banks. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
It's the first time in a while I'm able to say we're getting above average in terms of our temperatures. 18 degrees, 11 being typical, and about 10 degrees warmer than what we saw last year. So yes, we will be in store for a lovely day. a sunny day, a pleasant day. However, it almost feels kind of cruel because we are in store for a bit of a turnaround, very rapid one at that, in the form of a low pressure system likely to bring a good amount of snowfall to us here in southern Manitoba. Currently, though, it is pleasant, 2 degrees, slightly misty, winds out of the south-southeast, pressure falling, humidity at 98%. We're not the only ones in this boat either. Northern Manitoba is under some yellow snowfall warnings throughout much of the region. That's because about 10 to 15 centimeters worth could be coming your way today in the form of heavy snow, at times blowing because of some very strong southwesterly winds. For us here in the south, totally different story. Lots of sunshine, a little bit of increase in cloudiness, strong and gusting southerly winds, and temperatures in the mid to upper teens. But then overnight, we have a low pressure system coming our way, looking to dump a couple centimeters worth of snowfall to the southwest, joining us overnight Thursday. Plus, there's that risk of some freezing drizzle as our temperatures take a plunge. The good news is it will be short-lived. The sunshine reemerges in time for the weekend.
Thank you, Catherine. Prime Minister Mark Carney's new majority government got right to work yesterday after 3 major by-election victories. Carney announced a tax break for drivers with a pause of the federal excise tax on gas and diesel until the end of the summer. Joining us now from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation is Franco Terrazzano. Good morning, Franco.
Hey, good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us. Now, let's start off, first of all, with your reaction to yesterday's announcement on the gas tax break. What do you think?
Well, you know, the Canadian Taxpayers Federation has been pushing for gas tax cuts for a very long time. So the government's decision to provide a temporary gas tax cut will help a lot of people for a couple months, but there's still some more work to be done. Right now, it means the federal government has to cut some wasteful spending so it can make this gas tax permanent, so it can make life more affordable for more than just a couple of months without ballooning the debt any further.
What will this break mean for the average person right now, on average, would you say?
Yeah, so every time you fuel up your minivan, you're going to save about $7. That's every fuel up. Remember, this is a savings for a couple months of about 10 cents per liter of gas. Now, one thing I do have to point out is that you're still paying taxes at the pumps, right? You still have the federal sales tax. You still have fuel regulations, a hidden carbon tax. You also still have the provincial gas tax in place. So while this is some temporary relief, there are still a big tax burden at the pumps. You're looking at about $20 in taxes every time you fuel up your minivan, even after this temporary gas tax relief.
And so what would you like to see happen then at this point?
Well, a couple things. Number one, got to make this federal gas tax cut permanent. Number two, you got to cut wasteful spending to do that without ballooning the debt. And number three, there's still more relief that needs to happen, right? Get rid of the federal sales tax, get rid of the hidden carbon taxes. And we also want to see the provincial government cut gas taxes as well.
And do you think that this will help in a big way, just even this temporary pause right now? I know that you broke down some numbers for us, but do you think it's a relief in spite of the numbers?
Well, I think it is some temporary relief for a couple months, right? Cutting taxes is the fastest, the simplest, and easiest way for the government to make life just a little bit more affordable. So I do think that temporary relief will help, right? We mentioned that directly at the gas station, you're going to save about $7 if you're fueling up your minivan. But also, too, remember, this relief on fuel prices also helps relief every time you go to the store because it reduces diesel costs for those big rig truck drivers every time they're bringing groceries or other items to the store.
Now, Ottawa says this will cost the government around $2.4 billion. Is this something Canadians can afford to continue beyond Labor Day?
Well, Canadians need this help. And look, the government, it is up to debt. It's up to its eyeballs in debt. There's no doubt there, all right? Like, debt interest charges now costing Canadians more than $1 billion every week. And this is why we're so adamant that the Carney government has to cut wasteful spending so it doesn't spiral the debt and so that it can make this tax cut permanent. And, you know, that means the Prime Minister can't be spending $500,000 on airplane food in 1 year. It means the Prime Minister has to say no to that $90 billion high-speed train between Toronto and Quebec City, and it means the government needs to stop spending billions of dollars every single year on corporate subsidies.
But you understand that our country right now is in the middle of a trade war, so spending is the only way to keep things afloat for some businesses at this point. What are your thoughts on that?
The government has to cut taxes. And, you know, speaking of carbon taxes, the federal government still imposes an industrial carbon tax, and it's hurting you right in your own backyard, right? You think about it. The federal government in Canada imposes an industrial carbon tax on fertilizer plants in Manitoba, right? So that's not cutting emissions. It just means it will push jobs from that Manitoba plant potentially into the United States, into North Dakota, where the government there is not imposing national carbon taxes.
Franco, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. We're taking a trip to the NBA play-in for this one. It's the Hornets and Heat. 9-10 winner-go-home game in the East. 9 seconds of overtime here. Charlotte down by 1. LaMelo Ball drives, gets the bucket to fall for the lead. Davion Mitchell takes it back the other way, tries and win it for the Heat. Denied by Miles Bridges at the buzzer. So Charlotte hangs on to take a wild game. The Hornets eliminating the Heat, and that right there definitely worthy of your must-see moment. Meanwhile, tonight on TSN, we've got more NBA play-in action for you. The Magic taking on the 76ers. It all begins 7:30 Eastern on TSN 1 and 4. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
Come for mass, stay for the dinosaur. A set of bones belonging to the biggest known dinosaur is on display inside a cathedral in Peterborough, UK. It's called the Titanosaur, but the church's dean has given it a new name, the Dinosaur. The bones are on loan from the Natural History Museum to help raise funds for the church. It's Wednesday, April 15th. Peguis on the brink. To help with flood preparations, dozens of volunteers are in the First Nations community as the residents anticipate likely being told to leave. The Premier in Ottawa, what Wab Kinew and the Prime Minister discussed on Mark Carney's first day with a Liberal majority government. And getting right down to brass plaques as more Hudson Bay Company memorabilia finds its way onto the auction block. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, coming up at 8:15, the Charleswood Art Group has a show and sale coming up. We're going to show you some beautiful art pieces and tell you a little bit more on the artists behind them and the membership and how it has a long history in that community as well. And then at 8:45, the Winnipeg Baroque Festival continues into the weekend. We're going to tell you a little bit more about a fabulous show that's happening tonight as well as one on the weekend. But let's talk about that weather. It's going to be gorgeous today. I'm really looking forward to today, but yet I don't want the day to end because tomorrow's going to get ugly.
Yeah, it feels like there's a but coming because there really is. But let's enjoy the here and now, Rochelle, to your point, because it is lovely and it's a lovely start to the day, teeing up a lovely Wednesday to come. 2 degrees, slightly misty depending on where you're at in the city. Winds out of the south-southeast at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling this hour and the humidity sitting at 98%. So yes, we're going to be dealing with above seasonal values for the first time in a while, as evidenced by our currents. We're doing pretty well already, starting above freezing with the exception of Kenora at -2. Northern Manitoba, very much a different trajectory for you. Quite chilly. Lynn Lake at -20, Churchill at -23. Factor in that wind chill, it feels upwards of -35. We're seeing that slight disturbance out there. That's kind of causing the mist, also being felt in Dauphin and other areas to the west of us. However, we have a couple of weather alerts to warn you about because we have a number of low pressure systems that is going to be causing temperatures and our sky conditions to go here, there, and everywhere. So yellow snowfall warnings currently in effect in the north. That's because upwards of 10 centimeters of snow is predicted to come to that region today, and blowing snow as well under some very strong southwesterly winds. That'll continue overnight before tapering off early tomorrow morning. And the gray, the special weather statement in effect for us in Winnipeg, Brandon, much of the south, is warning us about an approach approaching low pressure system that could bring about 4 to 8 centimeters of snowfall and some freezing drizzle. Timing wise, it's likely to land in southwest overnight tonight before joining us late Thursday. In terms of today, though, as mentioned, it's hard to believe that's even coming at all, because what a pleasant day ahead. 4 degrees as kids head to class, 14 as they take lunch, 16 as they head home. We're getting even warmer from there, but as you can see, we take a turn overnight. Your weather art of the day done by Mrs. White's kindergarten class at Hampstead School. Great, wonderful photos of the snowfall, even though I don't want to see it on our grounds outside. Thanks for sending that in. And if you want to send in your kids' weather artwork, you can fill out the form and upload your art at the address on your screen, and you'll be entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
Thanks, Catherine. Manitoba is asking public workers to help Peguis First Nation prepare for flooding.
Bit of an all-hands-on-deck situation, just like during, the COVID-19 pandemic response, just like last year during the wildfire.
Volunteers from across Canada are already on site helping fill and set up sandbags. Manitoba's Spring Outlook is calling for warmer weather this week near the community. That will bring increased flood risks. Peguis First Nation is preparing for a possible repeat of flooding 4 years ago that caused widespread damage. Manitoba's infrastructure's minister says it's very likely people will be told to leave their homes. Meanwhile, in its Tuesday's bulletin, the province says it may activate the Red River floodway as soon as this weekend to control water levels here in Winnipeg. The Port of Churchill was a priority when Prime Minister Mark Carney and Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew met in Ottawa Tuesday.
I also wanted to say that we're very excited about Churchill and the prospect of working together to open up new trade destinations for all of Canada, including Manitoba.
Prime Minister Carney says plans to expand the port is a top priority. Studies are also underway to look at private sector interest in the port and to look into the use of icebreakers to extend its shipping season. Discussions also included Churchill's strategic role in defending Arctic sovereignty, federal health funding, and support for Manitoba's agriculture industry. Premier Kinew also thanked the Prime Minister for federal assistance with potential flooding in Peguis First Nation. U.S. President Donald Trump says he thinks the Iran war is close to over.
Well, you keep saying was. Is this war over?
I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over. You know what? If I pulled up stakes right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild that country.
President Trump made that comment in an interview with Fox Business airing this morning. He also suggested yesterday that talks with Iran in Pakistan could resume in the next 2 days. Tehran says it has no information about new talks. Meanwhile, the U.S. military says its blockade of Iranian ports is now fully in effect. Another piece of the Hudson's Bay Company is now up for sale. The brass signs that once adorned the Toronto flagship location are going up for auction. You can bid on 8 of them online with Heffel Fine Art Auction House running until April 21st. All of the signs feature the company's name, its coat of arms, and a date stamp of when the company was incorporated in 1670. They are estimated to be worth between $1,000 and $1,500, but will likely sell for far more. One of the same signs from the building was bought for more than $55,000 in February. Heffel has been auctioning off thousands of HBC art and artifacts since last year when the department store filed for creditor protection and closed its locations. Here's what's happening now on the St. James Bridge. Things have picked up over here, but overall moving quite well. It's a gorgeous start to the day, in fact, with that sun shining brightly. So wear your shades. Let's go now to Tandy Vera, who's live this morning and celebrating telecommunicators in our province. Good morning, Tandy.
Yeah, good morning. Today, right now, we're going to discuss some misconceptions people have when calling 911, and I'm joined again by Deputy Chief Tom Wallace. Thanks for joining us again.
Morning.
Now, the big one is if someone calls 911 and they're already at the hospital, does that get them faster care?
No. In fact, the first level of triage takes place right here in the center, which is why it's really important when folks call 911 to answer the questions that are being asked, because our call takers will assign a priority to that patient's condition to determine what type of resource and how urgently to send them. Then when our crews arrive on scene, they'll do a physical assessment, gather a history, and that will determine which facility to take the patient to and how urgently. And then when they arrive at the hospital, they'll get triaged again to determine whether they need a bed right away or whether they can go to the waiting room.
Yeah, and another common belief is that when someone calls 911, do you know exactly where they are?
Sometimes, but the first two questions our call takers ask is they'll seek confirmation of the phone number that the person is calling from, and then get detailed information about their location. Just in case the call drops, we've got that basic information first. Moving towards next gen 911, where the technology is going to be improving, it will give us better location, in particular for people calling from cell phones, right down to what floor of a high-rise complex they might be phoning from.
And how important is it for people when they call in to describe their location, describe the situation and what's going on?
So again, our call takers will confirm an address, but if somebody's calling from a street corner or a field or a highway, we'll try and gather as much information as possible, trying to get the caller to identify landmarks, cross streets, those kind of things. So again, those first two questions that we ask are really the most critical. Confirm the number you're calling from and the location that you're at.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And you heard it here. When you call in, say your location and describe what's going on around you. So thank you so much for joining us. Yeah.
Thanks for that advice. Thank you, Tandy. Air Canada is introducing new cabins that it says will change passengers' air travel experience. But do passengers want to pay more for the upgrades? CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin finds out.
Bringing the beauty of Canada to the sky.
Air Canada is calling it the most significant cabin redesign in its 90-year history. Passengers will catch a ride in the upgraded interiors, including the luxury of some lie-flat seats on long-haul flights. This aboard the company's new Airbus A321 XLR and Boeing 787-10 aircraft. The rollout will begin this summer, and all cabins will eventually see upgrades.
We've got 93 brand new aircraft on order, and the last time we came out with a new interior was about 10 years ago.
And the airline is borrowing from the national anthem and naming the project Glowing Hearted, leaning into Canadian themes. The comfy seat, big screens, larger overhead bins are a big investment, and the airline will no doubt need to pass on costs to travelers.
So it's not that those seats necessarily will cost more because of this, but we'll have more premium seats, which is really good for our business.
Still, it could squeeze out lower-cost seats, but analysts say the market is split between low-cost carriers and luxury brands, and Air Canada is finding its niche on some aircraft.
People are buying premium services. They're buying premium tickets. So, they're kind of figuring out that, the cattle call that we have in the back of the bus is something that they want to stay away from.
Privacy wings, big screens. Some frequent flyers say paying extra for extra luxury is the future of flying.
If you got a little bit more comfort and you know you're going to go that way, then yeah, that's the way you go.
Well, it just depends on what kind of budget you're on. Yeah, I can't afford first class or business.
Air Canada calls it a reimagined travel experience, and some analysts say the overhaul was long overdue. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Clear and lovely to start our day off here in Winnipeg on this Wednesday. 4 degrees with some decently strong southerly winds at 24 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling. Humidity sitting at 91%. We have two very stark days unfolding across the north and the south. You can see a slight disturbance there in the southwest. It's bringing a bit of mist and maybe heavier precipitation around Dauphin and the Swan Valley area, or Swan River area, excuse me. Meanwhile, a good amount of cloud coverage in northern Manitoba. Also to be joined by those yellow snowfall warnings. That's because about 10 to 15 centimeters of snowfall could be coming your way from a low pressure system. It'll also be very much causing some visibility issues, likely with some strong southwesterly winds causing blowing, gusting snow. The gray, meanwhile, in southern Manitoba represents a special weather statement. We're not immune. About 4 to 8 centimeters could be coming our way, tracking in overnight to the southwest tonight, and then likely not arriving to us here in Winnipeg until late Thursday night. overnight. From there, though, it could be wrapping in with some freezing drizzle, so it could be causing some issues with the roads out there, particularly south of the Trans-Canada corridor. And northern Manitoba, while you will be seeing upwards of 10 centimeters, as mentioned, it'll taper off likely tomorrow. In terms of us, we're dealing with a very warm high today of 18 degrees, strong and gusty southerly winds. Tonight, though, the plunge happens, -5 degrees as those winds stay strong. And then from there, a little bit calm, 1 degree tomorrow, and then likely that snowfall arriving overnight. From there, we've got a little bit of everything coming our way. Friday is likely when we're going to deal with that snowfall at 0. The sunshine reemerges into the weekend, and the temperatures really recover at the start of next week. We're taking a break. Don't go anywhere.
As Canadians and Americans continue to take significant financial hits at the gas pump amid record high prices, U.S. President Donald Trump is waving away concerns over the cost of fuel and says he's more than content with crude oil prices at $92 a barrel amid the ongoing U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Speaking to Fox Business Network host Maria Bartiromo in an interview that had been taped late Tuesday, Trump said he was very surprised that crude prices were only at $92 a barrel and predicted that the war could be over very soon, while suggesting that the hit to Americans' pocketbooks has been very worthwhile because the war has degraded Iran's ability to develop a nuclear weapon. More than 36 U.S. senators from both parties will urge the Trump administration on Wednesday to extend the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement in spite of the president's skepticism. We support efforts to fully enforce the existing terms of the agreement, curb unfair practices, and address outstanding trade barriers that disadvantage American agriculture, Senator Steve Daines, a Republican from Montana, and other lawmakers wrote in a letter to U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer. And it was shared first with Semaphore. Officials must agree this year to extend the pact, which President Donald Trump signed during his first term, past July 1st. Greer said this month he'll reveal the U.S. position at the start of June. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
The Charleswood Art Group calls itself a body of artists celebrating and supporting each other and the greater community. The art group has been around for 75 years, and it's getting ready for its annual art show and sale. And joining us now with more is Angie Spearing from the Charleswood Art Group. Good morning, Angie.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you are a new member to this group, which is amazing, but it's been around for 75 years, so that's huge. Take us to the beginning. How did it all start?
Oh my gosh, it started with a handful of people literally deciding they wanted to form a little group to celebrate painting, and from there it grew into this community of artists that is literally continuing to celebrate the passion with each other. We're 50 members strong now, and yeah, we've literally committed to working with each other year after year after year. It's wonderful.
And there's many different kinds of artists, many different kinds of genres as well. Tell us a little bit about what people can expect in your group.
Yes, well, I brought a few pieces along. We've got everything from watercolorists to oil painters. We have pastel artists, which is that chalk pastel, which brings vibrancy to the pieces. We have acrylic, we have mixed media, and we have some pottery. So we really have a little bit of everything. Right now you can see some pieces. We've got a fabulous multimedia piece, vibrant little hummingbird welcoming spring. Behind it is a darling little boy sitting on his ottoman. That one was inspired actually by the artist's own grandson. Oh, that's lovely. That's very special. That's an acrylic. There he is again. That's a wonderful piece. That's Jo McKeever. She's very talented. So we have a wide variety. We have 45 artists that will be celebrating and displaying their works at the show. This piece that you see right here was done en plein air, which is an outside painting technique. It's an oil painting done, and the artist actually sat in a very hot, humid, bug-filled field. Oh my. And yet still managed to get it out. So that one's exciting. All of the pieces you see here, this one inspired by Lake Country, floating on a boat. Yep. All of these pieces will be available at the show, so we wanted to show you a sample of what you're going to be able to see. But you can see the different techniques. This is a watercolor. This artist was waiting for the ferry on Lake Superior, and she wanted to capture the stormy skies coming in, and she's known for her rock detailing, so check her out at the show.
You have a piece here as well. Tell us about
I have a little piece here myself. I wanted to give credit to everybody else. I've got a little, a little watercolor floral. I've been into florals lately. Absolutely. So I brought in the little tabletop piece. I wanted to show that there's also pieces that can sit on the tabletop.
Yeah.
So we have something for everyone. Unframed, framed, art cards, original art prints, we've got pottery, as I mentioned. We've got just something for everyone. And our established and professional artists are selling the fine art, but we also have our emerging artists, which it would be myself, for example.
Yeah.
And it's your chance to get a little history in the making. If you collect a special piece, you never know.
That is incredible. Okay, so 75 years. You are doing something special at the show and art sale. Tell us what that is.
Yes, so the experience, we've got a whole wonderful experience planned for you, but we have set aside a special area this year that will be highlighting our 75 years. So it will tell our story. It's going to show some of the media recognition that we've received, including an MLA, Kathleen Cook. She recognized us in the legislature this year with this private member statement. So we're very proud of it. We're very excited about what we've accomplished. So yeah.
So this is happening not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yes.
What are the details?
So Charleswood United Church, it's a fabulous venue. You come April 24th. We're going to kick off with a wine and cheese on Friday at 5. I say come for the wine, stay for the art. And then Saturday 10 to 4, Sunday 12 to 4, and that is April 24th through 26th. Look for the lanyards. The people wearing the lanyards
You're wearing one right here.
I am.
Just show it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Painted by our very own artists, and we're going to be wearing those, walking around on the art floor, ready to help you and assist you with your experience.
Angie, thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Okay, it's a pleasant start to our day here in Winnipeg, and just lovely. Lots of sunshine to enjoy, and the breeze is starting to pick up. We're going to be dealing with some pretty strong southwesterly winds at about 40, gusting at times to 60 kilometers per hour. In terms of our temperatures, while we're starting today a few degrees above freezing, 4 degrees to be specific, with pressure falling, humidity at 91, we're going to climb very much quickly and to a very much above seasonal value. That's a very backwards way of saying it's going to be hotter than we're used to this time of year. 18 degrees is what we're looking at all throughout southern Manitoba, very similar highs on tap. Northern Manitoba, you have some yellow snowfall warnings in effect. That means upwards of 10 to 15 centimeters could be heading your way beginning today and hanging on overnight. With that, temperature is peaking in the upper minus single digits to low minus teens, so below seasonal values for you. If you're feeling pretty smug here in the south with our lovely temperatures to come, we're not immune. We also have a special weather statement in effect because a low pressure system likely to track about 4 to 8 centimeters of snowfall. Wrapped in that system as well, a wintry mix of some freezing drizzle. So we have that to look forward to overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Your Skywatch picture of the day, this mother goose maybe not loving the temperatures we have for her, but thanks for Leonora for snapping this picture, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
For many members of the deaf community, American Sign Language, or ASL, is the main and only way to communicate. But access to the language is not always available, and many who rely on ASL often find themselves isolated and unable to interact in many different settings. Research shows this could lead to mental health challenges for people who are deaf and hard of hearing. A new book from the University of Manitoba Associate Professor in the Faculty of Social Work is examining this issue and finding solutions. It's titled Deaf Mental Health: From Theory to Practice. And joining us now is the author, or one of the authors of that book, Tracy Bone. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Now, this book is a real collaboration of many different voices throughout Canada, the U.S., and the U.K. Tell us a little bit about deaf mental health.
Well, that's a very broad topic.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a couple of factors early on. What happens often with approximately 90% of deaf children are born into hearing families. Approximately 90%.
Okay.
What often happens for deaf children is if parents aren't aware of the child's deafness and or don't start learning sign language, there's language deprivation and communication neglect. So the deaf child will at some point, of course, will go to school, will start to learn sign language, but if the parents aren't also learning sign language, then there's no way to communicate with the child. Okay. Now, there is something, parents can often use gestures, you know, kind of informal signs, but that's not formal sign language. And it may be that a parent is communicating with a child at a particular point in time, but what happens when the child is in the rest of the house, or the child is outside and communicating with other folks in the community? So there's communication neglect in that sense, is that they aren't able to access the community in the same way hearing folks are. And they aren't able to access what's called incidental learning. So if we're sitting in a space and we are a hearing person, we can hear what's going on around us. Yeah. If we're sitting at the dinner table with our family, we can hear the conversations that are going on around us. A deaf child cannot. And if there's not someone there to provide that conduit between sign language and the hearing and speaking communication, the child is in isolation.
And isolation leads to loneliness and mental health issues, right?
It can lead to mental health issues, yes. So I'm sure some of your audience will be familiar with the ACEs study, Adverse Childhood Experiences. A research study that was done in, I believe it was 1989, looked at whether there was an impact between adverse childhood experiences and health as an adult. Yeah. And so the researchers found that there was a direct connection between certain experiences as a child and health issues as an adult, including mental health, depression, and anxiety.
We are almost out of time already. Okay. What is your solution in that you find at the end of this book?
The solution is for professionals to be aware of the deaf community, to be aware of communication, to understand that American Sign Language is a language different from English. Yeah. It's not just a version of English, it's different from. So if a deaf person is writing to a hearing person, the word order will likely be different, and therefore the hearing person, the hearing professional needs to understand that. It's not a reflection of intelligence, it's a reflection of a person communicating in a second language. Quite frankly, we also need funding for a deaf mental health strategy to address the needs of the deaf and hard of hearing community, as well as the deaf-blind community in Canada.
Okay, well, thank you so much for giving us this perspective. And if you want more information, we have a link on our website. Here's a look outside now on Donald Street. It looks pretty good out there. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Oh, so pleasant start to your Wednesday at 4 degrees. Clear sunny skies, strong and gusty southerly winds. Pressure is falling, humidity at 91%. Yes, it is the calm before the storm. I wish I was kidding. Yes, we have some rather adverse conditions heading our way through various parts of the province, no less. You can see, as represented by the amount of weather alerts in effect, including oh, sorry, apologies. I didn't mean to track through that so quickly. That yellow that you saw on your screen affecting all of northern Manitoba, about 10 to 15 centimeters worth of snowfall heading your way, and that's what that yellow snowfall warning represents. You can see here with our icons, and our temperatures not doing a lot to cushion the blow. Minus 10 degrees in Thompson, minus 12 in Gillam. Clearer and cooler in Churchill at minus 13 degrees. The northwest also looking for some heavy and at times blowing and gusty snow through the day and into tonight. Temperatures there a little bit milder at minus 9 degrees across the board, with the exception of Norway House at minus 6. Southwestern Manitoba, yes, lots of sunshine and above seasonal values for you. Brandon and Neepawa at a balmy 16 degrees, a little bit cooler there in Dauphin. Swan River likely to get touched by that low pressure system that's sprinkling some snowfall through much of the north. And through us here, even warmer temperatures. Sprague, Morden and Winkler, you could crack the 20-degree mark with strong southwesterly winds. And northwestern Ontario, mixed precipitation likely for you, with temperatures peaking in the low teens. Overnight tonight, though, we see a major plunge, and it is a sign of things to come. Minus 5 degrees. And then into Thursday, while it's cloudy and calm at 1 degree, we're likely to get that snowfall coming overnight. About 4 to 6 centimeters is possible.
A group of international students and workers is calling on the province to once more extend work permits.
Just wanted to know we are suffering. We need the extension like as soon as possible.
A few dozen people gathered on the steps of the legislature to call attention to the issue. They say work permits for around 6,000 people are set to expire this year, and they're hoping the province extends them as it did in 2025. But the workers haven't heard anything official yet and say it's causing some concern.
We're working every day, but on top of that, we have to consider our status here in the country. So that gives a lot of psychological burden as well.
Once a permit expires, the workers say they only have 90 days for it to be approved once more before being forced to leave the country. We'll get an update from Ottawa on the economy later this month.
I will have the pleasure to present the Spring Economic Update on the 28th of April to this House, Mr. Speaker. This is going to be a plan that is going to help families, it's going to help our industry, it's going to help our nation, Mr. Speaker, to process.
The Spring Economic Update is coming on April 28th. That day will mark 1 year since the Liberals' election win. The last federal budget projected a $78.3 billion deficit. We have new video showing the moment the hatch of the Orion capsule was open, welcoming Canadian Jeremy Hansen and the other Artemis II astronauts back to Earth.
Let's go!
Cheers were heard from the recovery crew and from inside as fresh air filled the capsule for the first time in nearly 10 days. The crew was then greeted with enthusiastic handshakes. The celebrations came moments after the capsule streaked back to Earth at blistering speeds before parachuting softly to what NASA called a bullseye landing. A pilot program at an Ottawa hospital is helping solve a growing problem for new parents, finding a primary care provider for their newborns. CTV's Leah LaRocque on the vital first steps.
At just 3 months old, little Charlotte is the center of her parents' world.
And she'll look at you and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing that we did.
The whole idea of getting to be a parent and watch her grow and develop and become her own little person.
But when Charlotte was born, she didn't have a family doctor willing to take her on.
All the time, I'm just always bouncing.
The Queensway Carleton Hospital connected them with Tracy Zubkov, a nurse spearheading a new pilot project that connects new babies born here with primary care providers.
We knew that there was a possibility that we would be able to have some support in finding a family doctor for Charlotte.
Zubkov meets with doctors across Eastern Ontario who are taking new patients, then matches them with newborns.
I just started compiling lists of areas that were maybe taking patients, and then I started going out and I started meeting doctors' offices. I walked in, cold call, and introduced myself, told them about our program, and begged them to help me.
There are about 2,500 babies who are born here at the Queensway Carleton Hospital every year, and about 800 of them don't have access to a primary care provider at birth.
How is everything going with your physician?
Good.
It's great.
But there is no guarantee of funding to keep the pilot project running past June.
I can't believe it's only a pilot, and I can't believe that it could possibly be a risk. That's crazy.
The Ontario Medical Association says 1 in 6 people in the province don't have family doctors, and getting babies care as early as possible can ease a healthcare system under pressure.
We need more innovation, more funding and investment into these types of programs. There's fewer gaps in care.
Little Charlotte has already had appointments and is thriving.
To say something. Thank you, Tracy.
Letting these new parents enjoy every precious moment together. Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
Here's a look at the current traffic situation now along Portage Avenue at Polo Park. It's moving well this Wednesday morning. We have no real issues to tell you about in the drive today. Here's a look at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.71, and the lowest price in the city is $1.57. The same at gas stations on Isabel Street, Salter Street, and Gateway Road. All this information is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Today is National Canadian Film Day, so we wanted to know what's your favorite Canadian film or TV show. For Susan, it's Hallmark movies. Murdoch Mysteries says Selena. Nat likes The Social. Hudson and Rex, the best Canadian TV show, shared a viewer. The Littlest Hobo is another viewer favorite. Loved that when I was a kid. Sandy says, my favorite TV show is Murdoch Mysteries, a quirky view of the early policing years of Toronto enhanced with inventions that we now take for granted. For Louise, Curse of Oak Island and Murdoch Mysteries. She's been following both since they started. Michelle loved Black Harbor. Paul says Corner Gas for TV and Goon for movie. And Schitt's Creek and Murdoch Mysteries are a viewer's favorites. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
Let's go back now to Tandy, who is live this morning talking about telecommunicators and how they're very important when you need help and during some of the worst moments of your life. Good morning, Tandy.
Hi, Rochelle. Yeah, I've been having such an interesting morning here, and I'm joined again by Director Stacey. Thanks for joining us again. Now, walk us through what a day-to-day work life looks like here.
Well, day to day, you never know what to expect. You don't know what's going to be on that other end of that call. So there's not really like a one-size-fits-all scenario that you can say your day looks like. You know that it's going to be definitely, it can be exciting, it can be tragic. It changes. Yeah.
And on average, how many calls happen per day?
We're averaging over 600 calls a day, like between 600 650 a day, and that's a combination of 911 and non-emergency calls, and about 55% of that are the 911 calls.
And how does that add up for the year? Because that's already so many as is.
Yeah, we're sitting at from last year, about 230,000 calls for the year. Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah. And moving on as well with the technology, there's something new upcoming as well. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So for a long time, I think the buzzword's been next generation 911, and we're finally kind of getting towards that across Canada. And so next year, we're going to have the decommissioning of the old kind of legacy 911 systems and introducing the IP-based. So the CRTC has designated like end of March of next year as being that decommissioning date, and that means that we'll be able to start accepting new technology. So things, expecting in the future the texting to 911, and then after that maybe incident-related imagery, that the ability to send an image or a video or have a live stream, for example. So yeah, the future's pretty exciting. Scary, but exciting.
Yeah. And how is that so helpful as well when people are taking calls or when people are trying to call in?
Yeah, it'll be a game changer, because you think of things like when you can't see something, you can only help so much. So being able to actually see stuff and visualize when needed is going to be a game changer. And even like things like fires, seeing how large a fire is, as opposed to someone just saying, well, I think it's pretty big, right? So it's pretty exciting what the future holds.
It's amazing. And last quick question, it's the week. How can people show appreciation?
You know what, there's so many different ways. Like one thing we have is schools. We have some of elementary kids that are doing letters, and that's like it really hits here. And anything, honestly, just saying thank you. If you have to call, and I know that's not always the easiest thing to say in an emergency, but call back, like honestly, and call back and just say thank you. Call a non-emergency, write a letter. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and you heard it here. Just say thank you.
Yeah, and thank you indeed from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much for helping people when they're in their greatest needs. Let's go to Catherine now on the rooftop. And how does it feel out there?
It's a pleasant start to your Wednesday, Rochelle, and we have a pleasant day ahead. It's 4 degrees, strong southerly winds with that sunshine, pressure falling, humidity at 91%. So pleasant is going to be short-lived, unfortunately. We'll speak about that in a moment, but we're going to start in northern Manitoba, where you're dealing with a fairly wintry day. You have yellow snowfall warnings in effect, blanketing much of the region. Environment and Climate Change Canada predicts anywhere from 10 to 15 centimeters worth of snowfall could be coming your way today. That'll continue from today overnight. Temperatures there chilly in the upper minus single digits to low minus teens. For us here in the south, a gorgeous day ahead. Temperatures in the mid to upper teens for us, 18 in Winnipeg, lots of sunshine and strong and gusty southerly winds. However, we do have a special weather statement in effect warning us about another approaching low pressure system. Could bring a couple of centimeters worth of snow, about 4 to 8 centimeters, plus some freezing drizzle, likely coming overnight tonight to Brandon before tracking to us tomorrow. Let's take a break though and pay a couple bills. Stay with us, so much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A lower cost version of Ozempic is still not available in Canada, months after the drug lost patent protection. CTV's Kevin Green looks into what's taking so long.
For Nicole McGimsey, the cost of Ozempic once put it completely out of reach. At $400 a pop, that's a lot of money to leave. It was not even something that we could consider as an option.
Semaglutide, marketed as Ozempic and Wegovy, depending on its use, lost patent protection in Canada in January, a move that was expected to quickly bring cheaper generic versions to market.
We actually had hoped that the generic would be available in Canada as early as January.
But months later, none have been approved, even as countries like India already have generic options available.
There are, a lot of my own patients who I would love to be able to prescribe this treatment to them, but it's just out of the capacity of what they can financially afford.
In a statement to CTV, Health Canada says its normal drug approval process takes 180 days, adding because Ozempic is a biologic medication, the process is complicated, saying the submissions for generic semaglutide are complex and require extensive data to ensure they meet standards for safety, quality, and effectiveness. Health Canada also says because the drug is injected, the generic's delivery pen must also pass inspection. Pharmacists say demand is already there, especially from patients paying out of pocket.
We've had a few questions for sure. If they don't have insurance coverage, they're quite eager to have maybe a generic come to market, help reduce their costs a little bit.
Now back on Ozempic after a change in insurers, McGimsey has coverage but says many others are still waiting.
The sooner the better is really what it comes down to. So any cost savings to everyone is beneficial.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The term Baroque has been used to explain Western Europe's style of music, art, and architecture from about 1600 to 1750, which is the era that followed the Renaissance period. It's been described as an opulent and grand style of art form, including music from that era. Over the last 3 weeks, the Winnipeg Baroque Festival has been celebrating the ancient composers of that era with 11 concerts, which included many performers and ensembles. Joining us now from Winnipeg Baroque Festival is Nolan Kaler and soprano and pianist Rachel Fenlon. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, when I think about the Baroque era, I think about artists like Caravaggio, Vermeer, Rembrandt. Tell us a little bit about the music side of that era.
So when you think about the detail that goes into those visual art pieces, the same can be said about the music that we hear from that time period all across Europe. It is very florid. There's all these beautiful lines, very intricate interweaving of different instruments, and that really is what sets apart this music from this time period.
That's very cool. So what kind of artists are we talking about here?
So we're thinking about artists like J.S. Bach, who many people will be familiar with. George Frederick Handel comes at the end of this. Everybody, of course, knows the Handel's Messiah and the Hallelujah Chorus. This comes from the Baroque era. But there's music that comes from Germany, England, Italy, and France are the main sort of contributors to the music we understand from this time. And they've all kind of had a taste here in the Winnipeg Baroque Festival over the last little while.
And we all kind of know it, right? We've all heard it.
Yeah, and it's such a building block for music that has existed ever since then as well. These are such basic building blocks that composers and even pop artists of today have used to construct the music that has come since.
That is incredible. Okay, so Rachel, let's talk about you. You're a Berlin-based performer. You've performed at some of the biggest concert halls around the world. You're performing tonight in Winnipeg. What brought you here?
Oh, well, the man sitting next to me is what brought me here. Nolan invited me to the festival this time last year, and we sort of started to put together a program that would kind of reflect what I'm doing as a soprano and a pianist, and for the Baroque Festival. So I created a program of J.S. Bach and George Crumb, an avant-garde American composer whose music I feel like ties in really nicely.
So it's almost a more modern version of Baroque.
It's a combination, yes.
Okay, so describe it to me.
Okay, so George Crumb, 1979, it's music where you're not just playing the piano like keys, you're strumming inside the instrument. You're making it sound like a lyre, which is a Baroque instrument. And then you have the music of J.S. Bach, which is these timeless melodies Nolan was speaking about. And Crumb also writes these wonderful, like chant-like melodies. So it's very haunting music.
Wow, that sounds
And so I'm combining these two composers and weaving that thread between the ages, really.
this has been going on now for almost 3 weeks, this festival. Tonight's the show for Rachel, and then the last concert is happening this weekend. Has it always been 3 weeks of pure joy?
Almost always, yeah. We've seen this festival expand and grow throughout the last 5 years or so, and each year has kind of taken a bit of a different turn. Sometimes we have larger ensembles from here in Winnipeg, like the Manitoba Chamber Orchestra or the Winnipeg Singers, for example. This year, we get more intimate, smaller ensemble offerings, or even soloists like Rachel performing and showing what their experience with the music from this time period can be.
So Rachel's concert tonight, where is it happening?
That is happening at the Eckhart Grammaté Hall, just down the street from here at the University of Winnipeg.
And then on Saturday, the last concert is happening?
At Young United Church in West Broadway, 1 o'clock, a true community music celebration featuring performers of all kinds sharing their love of Bach's music.
That's amazing. All right, if you want more information, we have a link on our website as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Taking a check-in outside. This forecast today is music to my ears. 4 degrees, lovely and sunny. Strong southerly winds at 24 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling. Humidity at 91%. Yes, while I'm loving what Mother Nature is serving up with a good amount of sunshine, although a little bit of moisture there to the southwest, I'm not loving what could be coming, likely coming in the coming days. So yellow snowfall warnings in effect for the north. Special weather statement in effect for us here in the south. So about 10 centimeters likely on the way to that region today. And then for us, a separate low pressure system likely tracking in overnight in the southwest and coming to us overnight Thursday. Could be bringing anywhere from 4 to 8 centimeters worth. But we have such a beautiful day to enjoy before any of that happens. 18 degrees is our high when 11 is typical. We haven't had above seasonal values in so long, so let's enjoy them because yes, they're short-lived. Temperatures plunge overnight. Tomorrow, calm but cool, 1 degree, and then that snow is likely to begin overnight. We're going to take a break, but your videos of the day still to come on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, it's almost the end of the show already, so we're going to send you off with some fun video. When the weather is hit or miss, there's still a fun way to play in the sand. Miranda is a mom who figured out she could fill up a sandbox with sand indoors for her toddler to play in on the days that look a little too cold and gloomy to go outside.
Yeah, I'm sure that sand is staying in there.
Oh, yes.
It's not going to get tracked through the house.
Oh, yeah. It won't end up all over your kitchen at all.
This mom has patience, let me tell you. I'd be like, we're just going to be bored today. We're not doing that.
Exactly. Well, the saying, work smarter and not harder, applies to fitness as well.
Homies wanna be like on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light.
Oh, she didn't even break a sweat. Looks like this woman is doing a difficult handstand with weights when in reality she's just lying on the floor. This video has gone viral with over 96 million views, with many wanting to follow her workout routine. Yes, wouldn't you want to do it that way?
That would be nice, yeah, wouldn't it?
And then finally, a car commercial targeting the cultured. This opera singing salesman is Andrew Hires, also known as Luciano Carvarotti. He's a classically trained opera singer and took a job at a car dealership in Florida in January when his opera career stalled. His videos have gone viral and have helped boost the sales of the dealership. It's a win-win. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.